Welcome, everybody. I'm Love Coach Scott Thomas, and it is Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe, and a beautiful show. And I'm so excited about the people that we have to bring to you tonight on this incredible topic of how to transform our world. And we're going to get to introduce you to a very special soul, a very dear new friend of ours, an amazing collaborator. It's a big show. Now, I got a request for all of you out watching on Facebook. Consider coming on into our Zoom room. We always have hundreds of people in the Zoom room, but then thousands of people watching on Facebook. And we love having those of you on Facebook come on into our Zoom room. That way you can interact with us even more directly. It's easier for us to follow the chat because when you're out on Facebook, there's so many different Facebook pages that we're on, and we appreciate the Sign Network for putting us out on so many Facebook pages. We can't keep track of all the comments coming in. So please, if you can, come on in and join us. And it's easy to do that. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com. That's globalpeacetribe.com and register. It takes about a minute maximum. And then once you register, you'll get an email with the link that brings you into our Zoom room. And this is a wonderful way for you to join us. And there's a lot of other advantages to registering with us. So again, while I'm talking right now, go ahead and do it. Go to globalpeacetribe.com. Now, what happens is we get your email address and we keep it only to ourselves. We don't give it to anybody else. But Deborah sends out every Monday an email that's got the replay. And once you get your email address, you'll always get the replay, plus access to all of our previous shows. We've done 42 shows, and they're all wonderful with amazing speakers and musicians and a lot of fun. Also, it gives you access to our early Zoom room show like we just had for the people who came in early. We had a beautiful conversation that the Zoom room people got to participate in and watch. And we provide special gifts, all sorts of good stuff. So please join us at globalpeacetribe.com. Then I have one more request, and that is for everyone to get a candle. I've got a big one here, and a lighter. Because in about, I don't know, maybe 20, 25 minutes, we're going to do a little special ceremony. I would love for you to all have candles and lighters handy because we're going to do a blessing all around the world because we have people watching. And that includes those of you who are watching the video replay. We estimate that about 30 to 35% of the people who see our show are watching the replay. So even if you're watching the replay, still join Global Peace Tribe. Please get out the candle, and even in your own timing, join us. So welcome, everybody. And now I'm going to introduce you to my producing partner, the co-host of Saturday Night Alive, she who makes all things happen, Deborah Giusti.
Thank you, Scott, and welcome everyone to what's going to be another amazing show. This is our 42nd show that we've produced every Saturday night since the lockdown. And this is the beginning month of our winter season where we have 13 new shows for you, and we're going to share more about that later. And again, thank you so much for your donations when you sign up on Zoom. Your donations really help us to produce a quality show for you every single Saturday night. And again, this is going to be an amazing show. Our theme is a world in transition, building resilient communities and hearts. This is definitely a new world for us now. And we do have the opportunity to create this new world now on all levels. So what are the tools that are needed to build a culture of care, connection, and sustainability within our communities and throughout the world? And how do we stay centered in our hearts and connected to each other and nature in a shifting and chaotic world? The world is changing faster every single day. We don't know what's coming around the bend, but it's our plan now to present with our human family and cultivate a thriving and resilient communities and stay connected to natural and living things. So tonight we're going to learn about eco-villages, urban restoration, and the new eco-cultural culture emerging now. We'll hear how to rebuild community with all our relations, tapping into the sacredness of life and the power of community to keep our hearts strong and resilient. So I invite you to join our panel of experts who really walk their talk. They're leaders in this new movement, and they're going to share us how to create empowered and regenerative, life-sustaining cultures and communities. First of all, we're so happy to have with us tonight is Lynn Twist. She is an icon of the new ecology movement, and she's the founder of Pachamama Alliance, as well as the Soul of Money Institute. She's recognized as a global and visionary leader. And tonight we're going to be showcasing Jerry Anderson, who is the founder of Mystic Monastery, an amazing eco center in Puerto Rico. We're going to tell you all about him. We're so happy to have you with us, Jerry. And we have Rita Cruz. She's the executive director of City Repair. She's an amazing organizer and diversity and equity program specialist. We're also going to have Marisa Auerbach. She's internationally known as a permaculture educator, designer, and speaker, and has practiced permaculture in both urban and rural environments. And we have Cynthia Tina. She's an active network over 100 intentional communities she has visited worldwide. She's the co-director and foundation of the Intentional Community. Welcome, Cynthia. And we have Miguel Elliott. He is well known for his eco-cob building expertise, and he's graced many communities with his eco-cob building. And we always have incredible musicians. We are going to have Aya Nero. She's a very popular musician who is a voice for the planet, modern beacon who dances songs directly from her soul. We're going to have Shyla Ray Sunshine. She's award-nominated influencer, singer, songwriter. She helps others open their hearts and voices and empowers the highest creative expression. We have Shea Freedom. She's a rising transgender singer-songwriter with a voice like an angel and lyrics that say equality and freedom. And we're going to feature Shad Wilkums. He's an American-Australian singer-songwriter bringing heart songs that reveal a better way for a generation in transitioning times in our planet. And for entertainment, we are going to have Jonathan Ute. He's a well-known puppeteer. He's also an artistic creator, director, and community leader and activator. And this is being our collaborative partner is Jay Markets. He's a regenerative design consultant, farmer educator, community organizer, event producer, and social entrepreneur. And every show, we love to support community organizations that are really doing powerful things on the planet. Last year in 2020, we raised about $70,000 from your donations that we gave out to organizations and individuals. And that is such the power of community. And we're going to be supporting Mystic Monastery, which is dedicated to mentoring and preparing and equipping future generations, healers and saints. And they are also creating a new nation on 10,000 acres of pristine land in Puerto Rico that's dedicated to healing Earth and its people. So thank you all for joining us tonight. And now I'm going to introduce our collaborative partner just to say a few words about the theme and the people. This is Jay Markets. He's a regenerative designer, consultant farmer. He's co-produced and facilitated 100 educational programs, conferences, community development projects for over 15 years. I first met him when he helped me create the Eco Village at the Harmony Festival, which I produced for over 33 years. So he was the founder of that. He's produced the Convergence up in Hopland, a huge permaculture and eco festival that's been going on for many years. And now he's currently stewarding a 5-acre farm and small community hemp business in Eugene, Oregon. So thank you, Jay, for all your help in co-creating the show. And I welcome you just to say a few words of what inspired you to create this show.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Hello, everyone. I am so happy to be here. I have been so inspired at the power of the festival culture, of how I first knew you, Deborah, bringing people together in music, in song, in celebration, and then along with that, getting our hands dirty, bringing the power of celebration together to make actual change, to share tools. That it's not just about the party, it's that too, but it's about the difference we can make when we work together. So I'm really happy to be invited to be here and to bring some voices of inspiration for making on the ground change on this show in an online version.
Great. Thank you so much, Jay. Thank you. Much love. And we are going to start with some music. We always like to raise the vibration with our musicians. We always have fabulous musicians, and it gets us going off to a great start. So we are going to start with Shyla Ray Sunshine. She's an award-winning, nominated, influential singer, songwriter, musician, mother, vocal coach. And she aspires to help others open up their voices and empowers others in the highest creative expression. Music is her love and her soul, and she's going to share that with us now. Welcome, Shyla. So good to have you with us.
I was going to say, I'll take award winning. I'll take it. Right, award nominated. Yes. Thank you so much for the intro. Yes, singing is my life. Music is life. I love performing. I love writing. I love teaching others to sing. And I hopefully have written songs that just help open the voices. So that is my joy. That is my wish for tonight. I want to welcome everybody to sing with me. I'm going to start with a more recent song that people tend to love, and this is an a cappella with my deerskin rattle. I'm going to share, and the song is called Into the Wild, and there is a chorus on it, and I would welcome everyone to sing it with me. I can give you a little breakdown if you want. It's there's a part that says, hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey ya, hey ya hey ho hey. So this part you'll really feel it, and I just hope everybody can sing along and join with me. And on that part there's just this hey ya hey ho hey. You'll feel it. So thank you so much for having me. Into the wild I'll go, and into the wild I am. It's been a while, freedom child, since I left my roots back home. I once tried to run away like a wild animal stray, running, hiding, I was riding high in the sunset sky. Hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey ya hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey ya hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey ya hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey ya hey ya hey ho hey. And all my life, for this time, I've been a warrior, and I know why. I've been given the torch of a light, on in the darkness of the night. Years we fought for this freedom, years I thought I had a wisdom. Now I see with new eyes, from this truth I cannot hide. Hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey ya hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey ya hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey ya hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey ya hey ya hey ho hey. And I gotta believe I'm here to make a difference without fear of being seen or heard. Like the bird who flies at night, like the lion strong and fierce, like the whale singing. I'd like to be bringing peace to you, to me, to you, to me. And into the wild I'll go, and into the wild I am. It's been a while, freedom child, since I left my roots back home. Into the wild I'll go, and into the wild I am. It's been a while, freedom child,
Oh, wow.
That's into the wild.
Uh, Thank you so much. What a fantastic way to start our show. Thank you so much.
Sure.
What a pleasure to meet you.
You too.
We're blessed. Shyla Ray is going to stick around and do another song for us.
Yeah.
And definitely want to encourage everybody to check out her website. She's got a lot going on this website. She's got music. She's got all sorts of cool stuff. And it's Shyla Ray Sunshine. Now, I'm going to spell that for you. Sylah. That's how she spells her first name. Sylah, Ray, Ray, sunshine.com. And look at all those cool images and look at those tats and the henna. Wow. Oh, Charlotte Ray, thank you so much.
Thank you. I hope that was entertaining. I hope everyone was singing. I saw a couple of you moving.
Yeah, we got panelists. Come on, you guys.
I saw it. I saw y'all moving.
I want to see them move it even more next time. All right. Thank you
I got
so much.
another one coming up, and I'm very excited. I'm going to sing a oldie but a goodie.
Great. Thank you so much for being with us. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
All right. And now to introduce our first actual speaker, I'm going to turn it back over to Jay Ma.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Shayla. It's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker of the evening, Cynthia Tina. Hi, Cynthia. Thanks for being with us. And this show being about building resilient communities, I don't know if people are aware or not that there is a big international movement called the Intentional Communities Movement, and literally hundreds of eco-villages, communities, that people that have bought land together that are actively doing this. And Cynthia is just the person to share with us about that. She is the co-director of the Federation of Intentional Communities, also formerly a board member of the Global Eco-Village Network, and has literally visited hundreds of these communities, as well as currently is living on one in Vermont and building her own house there. So Cynthia, thank you so much for being with us, and look forward to hearing what you have to share.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jayma. And hello, everyone. I'm gonna get my screen shared here and jump into a presentation. So I am calling in from Vermont, traditional Abenaki land. And I'm so excited to share with you about intentional communities, why they matter, how you can find them, and a very quick global tour, because I only have about 7 minutes or so. And this first photo is of Cloth Jordan Eco Village in Ireland. Pretty much all of the communities that I'm going to be sharing with you tonight are ones that I have visited personally, and many of the photos are mine as well. So let's jump in. A little bit about me. First off, I did not grow up in an intentional community, but I've been very fortunate and privileged to have gotten to visit many of them around the world. And really what drives me is this strong curiosity to find people and places that are doing life differently, creating more resiliency, more connection. And I feel very fortunate to serve as a bridge to help people find intentional communities to join, and also to share about them as models for inspiration and how we all can bring a little more community into our lives. I've been privileged to work with a bunch of really amazing organizations, such as the Global Eco-Village Network and EcoLease, the Youth Eco-Village Network, NextGena, New Mundo, and now as co-director with the Foundation for Intentional Community. So there's a bunch of organizations out there that are really lifting up these community-led initiatives for action on climate change and resiliency and creating more cooperation. And after a long time of travel, I joined last year a eco-village in Vermont called Headwaters. So you can see this is a photo of the main garden. And this photo in the corner is much more so what it looks like right now, because we have a lot of snow here in the winter. But it's a lovely community of about a dozen individuals and families, and we've all built our own homes in this really lovely woodland setting. This is my neighbor's home. And this is me putting up my house, which is still under construction, but will be passive solar and built with a lot of local natural materials. So what is an intentional community? We define an intentional community as a group of people
I'm just
who
gonna
live together or share common facilities,
we'll be
who
back. You know, I don't
regularly
need to leave.
associate with each other on the basis of explicit common values. So I'm talking about residential land-based intentional communities primarily. And there's a huge variety of them, co-housing, eco-village, shared housing, tiny house villages, senior communities, communes, just a real diversity. And it's up to each community to define itself, how it wants to be called, what it wants its purpose to be. Why intentional community? Of course, more connection, sharing resources. We don't all need to own our own lawnmower or washing machine. There's so much we can share when we live in community. And that allows us to live more lightly, to be more resilient, have the support of our neighbors, be able to co-create, design our own systems of government and decision-making, and also experiment. I really believe that intentional communities are microcosms for all the big problems we have going on in the world. But the difference is that in community, we get to look at them more closely and together stick with it and find a way forward together. And I think community living is a lot of fun, challenging sometimes, but definitely fun. And the biggest thing right now is relieving loneliness. There's a study that just came out today that 3 in 5 adults, so 61% of Americans reported that they are feeling lonely. And as we know, loneliness is a huge health risk, which can lead to depression and anxiety. So it's a serious thing, and intentional community is one way that we can bring a little less loneliness into the world, especially during this challenging time. The good news, there's thousands of intentional communities out there. We estimate there's between 10 and 30,000 intentional communities worldwide. Where can you find them? There's this great website that our organization puts together and manages called ic.org. And there you'll find an online directory of over 1,500 intentional communities worldwide, as well as a print directory if you want to hold them all in your hand. And I really do believe that starting an intentional community is becoming easier and easier than ever before because of all of the great information and a real network of places around the world that are getting started right now. We launched last week online courses for community builders at ic.org/learn. And on February 4th, we're starting one on how to create an intentional community. We also have weekly events such as workshops and webinars, including our Community Connect call, which is very special and happens on the 4th Tuesday of each month. So you can consider joining that. And now for the remaining time, I want to take us on a really short global tour of intentional communities, just to get a little burst of inspiration wherever you may be calling in from. So to start with is the largest intentional community in the world, which is Oroville. And you're looking there at the Matrimondeer, which is the physical and spiritual heart of Oroville. Findhorn community in Scotland that began 50 years ago, just as a trailer park, and now is mushroomed into a community of 600 residents. Ithaca Eco Village, which is the largest eco village in the US. La Cité Écologique, which began as a summer camp for kids and now has 2 eco village locations in Quebec and New Hampshire. And intentional communities don't have to look like super alternative. This is one in Durham, North Carolina, that looks on the outside just like a normal apartment building, but on the inside there's a co-housing. Groundswell Co-housing is a really beautiful one in British Columbia, Canada. Village Hearth is the first 55+ LGBTQ community. Damanhur in Italy, where they've literally dug in secret for many years into the caves and made these beautiful art forms and mosaics on the floors. Twin Oaks community in Virginia, which is completely income sharing. They make their own tofu and have a hammock business, so they're economically self-sufficient. Bruderhof communities is an example of religious intentional communities, which are definitely a large part of our network. And even intentional communities that have a focus on Buddhism, for example, or yoga. This is a really awesome community project led by the Masok people of Alabama, who are returning to their traditional homelands to bring to life their culture and their language. Torre Superiore is a 13th century eco-village that's now been re-inhabited in Spain. And in Senegal, the government has made a commitment to transition 14,000 villages into eco-villages. So this is arguably one of the largest eco-village projects in the world. There's tiny house villages. Camp Hill communities are focused on creating community for people with special needs. And then transition town movement, like the idea is not that everyone needs to up and move to a intentional community, but you can really create a lot of community wherever you are right now. And one great way that they're doing that in Portland is with the Village Building Convergence led by City Repair. I think Reedy's gonna speak more to that later on. So there you have it, a huge variety of ways to connect with and be inspired by models of intentional community. I'll leave you just with a question here. Are you getting enough community in your life? Maybe sit with that one and think about some things you can do even during the pandemic to help create more community where you live. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. I mean, we should do an entire show just with you really going through. I'm serious. We have like extra shows that we do, and I'd love to just do one where you really take us through all the different communities you visited, because of course each one has such unique idiosyncrasies and qualities. And I think a lot of the people who are watching this show are really interested in finding the right community for themselves.
Yeah, totally. I normally do this presentation in 2 hours, so I had to like cut out most of it. But yeah,
I'm gonna invite you to be on one of our ancillary shows so you can have your say 90 minutes to 2 hours. And certainly for anybody who wants right away more information, this is Cynthia's website, cynthiatina.com, CYNTHIA, Cynthia, Tina, Tina. And she provides coaching for those of you who are looking for community, those of you who also are creating community projects. She's your gal. She's got a lot of knowledge, and I think we all saw in her 8 minutes, she's a lot of fun as well. So definitely want to, support you. And thank you, Cynthia, for getting, again, our show off to just a great start with your presentation.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, all right. Hope to see you again soon. All right. So, she's asked a great question. Are you getting enough community? And gosh, we sure are hoping that through Saturday Night Alive, we're providing you with an experience at least once a week of community, a chance to see what's going on in the world, to be inspired by our speakers, our musicians. And you probably heard me say this before, but for those of you that are new, I really do believe that the Global Peace Tribe is millions and millions of people all around the world. And we do have in common this vision for a new paradigm that is ecologically sustainable, that's holistic, that's harmonious, that goes beyond right and wrong thinking, beyond the polarizations that we've seen in our world recently. And that's really where we are living in harmony with nature. And it's been beautiful since we started the show. I've met so many amazing people, like the people we've already seen on the show tonight. I'd never met Shyla Ray or Cynthia before. I met J-Ma just recently through Deborah. So we're getting to meet some amazing new speakers. Well, one of the things that happened was I noticed in one of our surveys, and please, when we offer to do surveys, fill out your survey, because there was one gentleman who filled out the survey and mentioned what he was doing. And he said, I'd love to share what I'm doing with you. And so I noticed that and I pointed it out to Deborah. And we first made contact with Jerry Anderson. Well, what started as first contact with Jerry has really developed into a beautiful friendship. And Jerry is certainly going to be somebody that's going to be a big part of Saturday Night Alive, a big part of the Global Peace Tribe. And tonight we're going to be introducing not just Jerry to you, but the Mystic Monastery. And I do want to remind everybody to get their candles out and their lighters, because in a few minutes, we're going to do something special. So we're going to be talking to Jerry and working with him for about 10 minutes. And want to just invite everybody, if it's easy, to get candles and a lighter. So we set tonight because the theme of transforming times, this theme was just like perfect for introducing Jerry and his amazing mystic monastery. So we set the date, we've been working on it. And as fate would have it, Jerry's mother passed away last night. And Jerry was very, very close to his mother, to his human mother. And she passed last night. And so the timing is so remarkable that here he is making his kind of public coming out party about himself and Mystic Monastery, and wait until you hear all about it. And God bless his mother, who is now watching from a higher plane,
Yes,
from a
yes,
higher perspective.
yes.
And so before we go forward with Mystic Monastery, I just want us to all take a moment and bless Jerry and bless his mother during her transition.
Yes.
And Jerry, tell
Yes.
us her name and just a moment about her.
Her name was Helen Anderson. She was 87 years old. She was married to my dad for 66 years as a dairy farmer, and she worked harder than most men. I have a picture of her at 80 years old driving a full-size bulldozer. Yeah, she was an amazing being.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, thank you. And I always like to thank mothers for bringing amazing beings into the world. So I'm grateful to you for bringing Jerry
Yes, yes,
to our
yes,
world.
yes, yes, yes.
Jerry calls himself the Wild Abbot of Mystic Monastery. And the story of Mystic Monastery is incredible. All right, are you guys ready for this? You're talking about, you know, community and what Cynthia just shared with us. Well, here's another one for you to visit, Cynthia. Jerry has 10,000 acres of pristine land, and their actual own evangelical country recognized by the United Nations. And they're opening up. They need people to come and create and build. So with that, I'm just going to turn it over to you, Jerry, to tell us a little bit about the story and a little bit about what you've got going on there.
Thank you, thank you. It's a blessing to spend time with the whole spiritual family of light on this group of audience that we get to share with you tonight for the first time about creating our own country where we can set the laws the way we want, the cultures the way we want, and the ecology the way we want. As Scott said, we have 10,000 acres, and kind of tie it into what the earlier people were saying is that, yes, we feel that the biggest deficiency on earth is a deficiency of nature. And that when you put a young person in immersion in nature, they connect the dots all by themselves. They don't even need words. So some of the things that we're, as you can see behind me is the property. And you can see here, this is the Tanama River, and that's the sacred river that I will speak about for tonight. And it's the sacred river, I called it because it's called the Tanama River, was the background, you might say, of the holy lands of all the cultures in the Caribbean area called Taino. And this river is such a mystical river. 3 times on our property, it travels 19.4 kilometers through our property through 3 mountains. And so kind of to start with where I wanted to share with everybody is a wise one once said, there is 2 days important in a person's life. The day they were born and the day they discovered why. And we have a whole humanity of young people that are waiting to find what is their purpose, why is they're here, what they're here. And they come with a tremendous calling to serve. You're gonna get to meet in a minute one of our young monks. And drawn to the whole project. He found me from 3,000 miles away in Colombia. Okay. And he'll later share with some of the kinds of things that's been his training. But we want to work with the young people that are hypersensitive, very empathic young people who are feeling kind of like beat up by our society. And we want to make a place here where we can graduate them into new saints and new healers. The main focus of the whole monastery is about healing. So I always say Jesus's advertising program was, he was the healer. From town to town, he was the healer. So we made a little video here for you about our project. And let's see if I can play it here. Yeah.
Yep, we see it. So Jerry, just want to say we are seeing all these different slides that you're showing us. So you are intentionally flipping them through for us to see. And by the way, we haven't even mentioned where Mystic Monastery is. This is in San Juan, Puerto Rico. San Juan, Puerto Rico is where these 10,000 acres of incredible land are. And Jerry, now we're seeing the slide of, yeah, there you go. You're continuing to show us more. There we go. That's where we, Puerto Rico.
Did you see that?
Yes, we saw several slides, about 10 slides that you showed.
Okay. So we are located in Puerto Rico. I can share you the map here just a second. You can see over in this area here is San Juan, the capital. San Juan means St. John. And when Columbus originally named the island, he named it the island of St. John. And that's why we are the Mystic Monastery of St. John. And here you can see our property is 10,000 acres. Just to give you an idea, that is our neighbor. And it's that little tiny dot right there, okay?
Wow.
The Arecibo telescope, you maybe saw it in a few movies. The whole entire background you see is our property there. Just to give you an idea how big 10,000 acres is, it's 70% the size of Manhattan. Here
Wow.
you can see how rugged our land is. If you're familiar with topography maps, the closer the lines are, the more steep it is. And so you can see just a couple of areas here where we have flat lands to grow stuff, but most stuff will be built on top of the hills there. The Sacred River, as I told you, passes through 3 mountains. Here's one place that passes through a cave. And our intention is to bring all the healing, teaching, wisdoms around the world together into one place of suppository where people can actually come, learn, and immerse themselves in these different teachings. And to weaving these all together, 2 years ago, our first ceremony on the grounds in Puerto Rico, we brought together many, you can see native tribe people here, all around that helped us do that ceremony. And our embassy, because the property, as I showed you, is really jungle. And we don't have power, we don't have cell phones, we don't have any of that stuff. So we created an embassy in the local town there of Lares. Here's a little picture of the interior of our embassy. There's my office. And there's the entrance area coming into the embassy. And we have many types of fruits and stuff on the grounds. And, you know, when you talk about paradise, you usually name all the things that's in paradise. But let me tell you something. You want to also name the things that are not in paradise, okay? And the one that's not in paradise that we're very, very happy with, and the rest of you will appreciate, there are no mosquitoes on our property. You can't believe it, but it's true. And it's because so many bats live in the cave systems I was showing you. Speaking of caves, this is one of the giant caves that we have there. We call it the Bat Cave. And this picture is not colored, not illuminated. All they did was increase the saturation of the colors of the cave. There's the mouth of that same cave. And here I thought we would stop and take a moment. Scott, if you could handle that. One of the monks is from Colombia. He's online with us tonight, Andreas Navas. And I would like him to share what's true for him.
Yeah, and before I do that real quickly, Andreas, I just want to acknowledge again a couple, because a lot of questions are coming up in the chat box. You're not limited to looking for young people. You're open to people of all faiths, all religions, and all ages. So just want to clarify that.
Yes, we call ourselves the first all-denominational monastery.
Beautiful. And Andre, I'm going to give you a chance to share how Jerry and the Mystic Monastery, how has it impacted your life? And welcome, Andre, from Colombia. You need to unmute.
Oh, sorry. Hello, everybody. Well, let me tell you about my experience in the Mystic Monastery. Well, everything started like 5 to 4 years ago. I was in a lack in my life because I was studying, I was finishing my university, and I didn't know what to do because I was thinking that, well, I'm going to get a job and then work for 20 years and then what? There was lack in my life. I was falling in depression, and then Mystic Monastery appears in my life, and then all the process I started learning about myself, because the first, for me, the main thing in the life is know yourself, because then by the way you are learning about yourself, then you can give more to the people. So I start learning about myself. I have to start learning about my fears and how to deal with them, and all my passions, because that's another thing. You have to find your passion and then start doing something with your passions, to get this joy in your life and get the purpose of why you are here. So I start all this process with the Mystic Monastery. I start learning about me, and from 4 years to now, we are like a few steps away to open the Mystic House, which is like a branch from the Mystic Monastery, and we're doing all this counseling to all the people that is in the situation that I was 4 to 5 years ago, and it's here in Colombia for all the people that don't have already the opportunity to go to Puerto Rico. So it's something big and it's really amazing. So I invite you all to go to the Mystic Monastery and share with yourself and give what you learn to the world and make the world something better.
Thank you so much, Andres. Thank you. And, Jerry, really, it is very beautiful what you've created. Of course, I've gotten the chance to get to know you and talk to Andreas and how you really changed his life. And, Jerry has spent 45 years providing healing to our world in a wide variety of ways. And he did something right, because life provided him with these 10,000 acres for $94. And they'd been sitting pristine for 500 years. Nobody had claimed them. I don't quite know how it all worked, but the bottom line is, for 500 years, they sat there, and now they are in Jerry's hands. And Jerry needs help. He needs support. So describe to us, Jerry, what are some of the things that you need right away? If someone were to move there or to start working with you, what do you need right away?
Well, we do have a prayer list here. We really need somebody to handle social media. That's one whole ballgame that's ready to go. And the email representative, webmaster graphics. We are actually, building different graphics for the cover of our passport that's being built right now. All those kind of things, accounting people, government people, and a new area that seems to be breaking into is the crypto banking area, and those people are looking for a sovereign country to build in, and we happen to be a sovereign country. So whatever skills you have, we're really looking for everybody to help in many different ways. We need persons that can volunteer in the permaculture, the medicine gardeners, construction, cooking, gardening, all the wonderful things. And one of the first things that kind of tie into our group tonight on plants and gardening is that we need to do what I call a food map, so that we can actually map everything that's growing on our property already. You know, we have everything from avocados to coffee to bananas, coconuts, all growing on our property. So we need to like map where all these things are before we start actually building roads and trails and those kind of things. So we really need help in all those areas. Really what is going to control the speed of how we develop this monastery is contributions. We have carried the ball all this far with no contributions till today. And so we have right now, we have 4 monks in Puerto Rico at the monastery in our area there. And we're looking for sponsors for them. We like to sponsor them for $250 a week or $1,000 a month. Maybe you would like to have him sponsor a bench. We're going to engrave them that we've been waiting for you in the benches. Or if you want a little small park with your bench, it'll be $1,000. We also are wanting to put up a giant flagpole with a handmade flag. But the big one we want and need is this tractor. It's a 40 horsepower electric tractor. And I love the name of the company that builds it. It's called Multi One. Isn't that perfect? So we are open to monks to put their application in. All you have to do is write to the abbot at Mystic Monastery, sjb.com. SJB is St. John the Baptist. So we're leaving our legacy for future generations of ourselves. We often talk about the future generation, but that future generation might. Do you feel led to help us in any way? Did we lose the? Okay.
Yeah, we lost you there for a moment.
Yeah.
And we've got a little bit of an audio thing going on. We're going to light the candles in a moment, but before we light the candles, I just want to one more time take people to his website. And of course, Jerry and Mystic Monastery is our recipient this week. This is who we're going to be raising money for. You can learn more just by going to Mystic Monastery SJB, St. John the Baptist, who's a patron saint of this amazing place. And you can learn all about it by going to mysticmonasterysjb.com. And we want to really encourage people to donate. And here's the donate button. And as you donate, that way we can raise money for Jerry and all that he's doing. And again, Deborah has been putting that link into some of our Facebook pages, into our Zoom room page. And now, as people are donating, we also want to invite those of you who got candles. And here I'm going to add a few of the people that have their candles. There's Jan, our associate producer. There's Deborah. There's Lynn Twist is with us. She's got her candle ready. There's Jay Ma and myself.
Thank you, everybody. We're lighting lights all around the world tonight for a brand new monastery that it will be able to work with the teacher plants. I hadn't a chance to say that, but we will be working with all the sacred teacher plants. So for those who have a candle, please join us as we light little light points of light around our planet tonight from this show. The first time we actually make the show, or even we talk about the show to the public.
Beautiful.
I mean, the monastery. Yeah.
And definitely honoring your mother and her passage, Jerry. Absolutely. Lighting that candle for her as well.
Yes,
So,
yes. Blessings to my mom.
And so let's just take a moment and take a few breaths together. Maximum grace for Jerry, the spirit of his mother who passed last night, and this incredible endeavor. Blessings on the Mystic Monastery. May it attract all the grace and all the support, all the right people at all the right time.
Oh,
Oh,
Mhm.
Ashe.
Thank you. Thank you, world of Saturday Night Alive. You're all very appreciated.
Thank you, Jerry. And Jerry's going to be, coming on. He's definitely a big part of our new family, and so we're definitely going to be seeing Jerry a lot as time goes by. So thank you very much, and thank you everybody for your donations and for lighting the candles. Really appreciate it. So Jema and I had the opportunity to meet with Ayla Nerio this week. And she wasn't able to join us live because she wasn't sure if her internet would be strong enough. So she went to a special place where we could record her. And I'm going to bring Jay Ma back on just to tell us briefly about this video, and then we'll play a video recording with her.
If you've not heard Ayla Nerio's music, you should check it out. She is a beautiful, amazing soul, and somebody also who is really grounded in everything we're talking about tonight. It's almost like she's an enchantress that came out of and is singing for the forest and people. So we're grateful to have her presence in support of this show, and please enjoy her music. Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce Ayla Nerio. Hi, Ayla.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being with us. Many of you are probably familiar with Ayla's music. She is truly an otherworldly artist, I would say, as well as a voice for the planet and its creatures and the human journey through that. Weaving together such beautiful poetry with vocal looping and beats and electronic soundscapes. She really has an uncanny ability to disarm and crack open the heart, which is a lot of what the theme of this show is about this week, building resilient communities and hearts. She's played at many of the notable summer festivals and is currently seeing a lot of rapid growth with your music. I've been hearing Ayla in the US and Europe and Canada, Australia, so congratulations with that. I've also been really inspired by the work you've done with the Permaculture Action Tour, like touring through 36 cities in 6 weeks and bringing people together with the performances, but also to do community garden projects and connect people to know what medicines and foods are growing around them, supporting self-resiliency, which is what the show is all about. So thank you so much for being here. I think it's really appropriate to have you and what you stand for with your music, with the theme we have here. So welcome.
Thank you so much. What a beautiful intro. Thank you.
So is there anything that you want to say about your music as it relates to this theme of building resilient communities and hearts and some of the work you've done on that regards with your tours?
Yeah, well, I guess I'll speak to this moment, which is a not touring moment. I mean, of course, the Permaculture Action Tour and then my own evolution of that I did for a few tours of the Herbalism Action Days, connecting communities in towns that I was going to, having days where we got to really understand what's growing around, what's local, and who are the local herbalists, really connecting with the local medicine keepers and gardeners and farmers. And I'm really excited to do more of that when touring happens again. And this year has been, as we all know, very unique for everyone, and especially for anyone in the performing arts. And so I've actually gotten to be doing it. It's more than I ever have been able to, because touring, we would always have a garden on our land, but it was like coming and going and coming and going. And so this year I've been with every single cycle of the land and planting, and we've almost tripled our garden size. We got chickens. We're about to get goats, which I never thought would happen this soon. And we're really deepening into the homestead thing. And we also live with a community on our land. So there's about 8 people total that we are part of, that we live with, and have built up, we're trying to build the vision in our own way, trying to live into village living, really, and just even in a very small way with some people, just trying to build food sovereignty, and then more than that, trying to connect with the local farmers around us so that there's a network of people being able to go to each other's farms and help each other, and also know what each other's growing and what we're all holding, so that we can, and the skills we all hold, so that we can really be a resilient community, not knowing what's ahead. So I've been I've been passionate about this for a very long time, as have you, I know, and so it's really been amazing to have a year of living it fully, and I'm excited to see where that leads in terms of supporting more people to do the same. But I would say this year it's been really just like practice, living it. It's changed me for sure. I feel this is my first like peeking out of the cocoon I've been in for the year. So yeah, it's a joy to be here and share music in this time. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm so happy for you that you've had that time and made it that especially. So I understand you're going to share a song with us, and
Yeah.
it's almost a special treat as you're going to play an acoustic song for us.
Yeah.
I'm used to hearing you with the full everything and all the beats and everything. So
totally. Yeah, I decided to play a song that usually does have all sorts of stuff going on, and it's like part of the journey of this year is just getting more simple, just letting life simplify us and coming back to what's essential. So this song is it's called Turning Wake, and it's a song for the turning that we're going through, the changes that we're experiencing, and then the double meaning of turning ourselves towards awakeness, to remember why we're here, what we're doing, and really awakening all of our senses, all of our awareness, to not accidentally be asleep to the moment, but to really be present with what the potential is and what we can create with our hands and our communities together. So sending this out to all the farmers and gardeners. Turning you a bent bone, weary wandering soul, and born upon a body you can never own, rolling you along, bent sideways, tumbling a mother-given loom. You knew it when you flew in, shuttling, weaver you are gold bent, but do your strings hold the strength of what was given when you flew in? You're burning your own home. Some days so good you live a little lighter. Give it a little water, give it a little eye to eye. See from what you made, got a little shadow to be made. Wickedness the way you grow this, know this. Got a little matter to be paid, man, giving it away. It's a trip we're being shown, told us all we've ever known. What are the truth you're gonna hide, baby? Finding that you're choosing every moment, looking through the frame they're giving you. What are they giving you? What are you gonna do? Look through. So there's a turn from the fear, a land for the free, a song for the beat down, keeping up steam. And you will hear my voice here singing. There's a lead from the greed, a gift for the kind. I'll be dancing with the ones who remind me. We are born of dust and silence. We are made of ancient song. And there are ones who'll keep us sleeping, and there are ones who'll bring the dawn. Put your back to the birch and your mind to the matter of a listening kind of way. We are born of dust and silence. We are made of ancient song. Rose upon the shoulders of the shoreline, eyesight creeping round the edges of the known. You've known it from before your sight was shorn, shifted, and they told you not to talk dark of this. But you remember in your sleep all the ones that you could see, raising candles to the sky through the forest dark as night. Wide-eyed, keep stride, this the path you're being shown. Sure thing, keep singing to the ones you're walking on. They the wonder, you the stars they look upon. You are clouds to them, giving harm or giving form. Do we greet them with our grace? Do we run or do we face the ones who are helping us to heal our choice and choose again? There's a turn from the fear, a stand for the free, song for the beat down, picking up steam, and you will hear my voice here singing. Oh, oh, there's a light from the green, a gift for the kind, and I'll be dancing with the ones who remind me we are born of dust and silence, we are made of ancient song, and there are ones who'll keep us sleeping, and there are ones who'll bring the dawn. Put your back to the birch and your mind to the matter of a listening kind of way. We are born of dust and silence, we are made of ancient song. Bade farewell, all you've been told. Waves are rising, us to shore. It's not what you say, what you think, it's the walk and the way that you do. So you give what you give, what you give, what you give, what you can, what you give what you give, what you are, what you give, what you give, what you can, what you give what you are, what you can, and you will hear my voice here singing. Can what you give, and I'll be dancing with the ones who remind me what you can, what you are, give what you want. I'll be dancing with the ones who remind me we are born of dust and silence, we are made of ancient song, and there are ones who'll keep us sleeping, and there are ones who'll bring the dawn. Put your back to the birch and your mind to the matter of a listening kind of way. We are born of dust and silence, we are made of ancient song.
Mm. Oh, so beautiful. Thank you so much. I love it. I've not heard that one before. Well, thank you. So I want to give you the opportunity to share. I understand that you are launching an online training about making music and diving into the depths of your soul to do so. And I'd love for you to share more about that,
Sure.
where people can find out. So what is it you're up to with that?
Yeah, well, it's a course that it was kind of waiting in the wings, and then right around April, I was like, it's time to do this course, and so I ran it first in May, and it was my first online course of a very extended, deep dive version of what I do live, the workshops that I do live, which is song channeling, a song receiving. That my relationship with songwriting is to get really open and to receive it, and so it's supporting people to open not just to song but also to whatever is meant to come through them. I have a belief that we are all receivers of so much. You know, our systems are made that way, and that we're all creators, and whatever it is someone's meant to create, I just want to support them to be more open to be able to receive it and hear it, and then also to be able to trust themselves enough to then create it, because that's the other part of this work is a lot of like voice opening and really leaning into fears, because there's a lot of fear that has been programmed into our cellular memory through long ages that holds us back and says that it's not safe to be a force or be bright or have a voice or create that which might that is our own edge, just to lean into our edges that way. So it's all that and more. It's a 5-week long course, and I'm rerunning it. And so it's all the original course content plus 4 extra live sessions that are going to be Q&A and creative practice and a bunch of things. So all of that is on my website currently, and available. And I think you guys will have the link as well for people to find it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll pull it up, ailanerio.com, and that starts pretty soon, in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be starting in a couple weeks. I'm very excited.
Wonderful. Well, Ayla, thank you so much for being here and sharing your music with us, and for the purpose of it too, and the intention around dedicating it to farmers and resiliency. And wish you the best of luck as well on your farm endeavors with the goats and chickens and plants.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a joy. It's like this is what we live for, right? It's just to be with the earth. So it's beautiful. And thank you so much for inviting me and for the beautiful intention of this Saturday night live. Thank you.
What a delight. What an absolute delight she is and was. And as promised, here is her website where you can, and when you go right there, it takes you right to the information about her upcoming online course. So it's Ayla Nerio, AYLANEREO.com. And we certainly want to encourage any of you who are interested in what she has to offer to check it out. It's really very, very delightful to be with us. And now to introduce our keynote speaker, I'm turning it over to Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And when we were cooking up this amazing theme and show, we really wanted someone who was an icon of the new ecology global movement. And this woman definitely is. And she's been doing this for a long time. Lynn Twist is an amazing visionary and global leader. She was the founder of the Pachamama Alliance that has been assisting the indigenous people in South America, rainforest. And the organization has created Awaken the Dreamer, which is designed to wake up the modern people to the importance of prioritizing our support and alignment with the natural world. She's also the founder of Soul of Money, and she's the best-selling book, The Soul of Money, Transforming Your Relationship. She has done so many things in her life from her heart and soul. One thing that's really amazing is she was the recipient of the prestigious Woman of Distinction Award from the United Nations. So we were so happy when Lynn Twist said yes, that she would come and lend her voice and her heart to this precious theme and show tonight. Thank you, Lynn, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Deborah, and thank you, Scott, and thank you, Jay Ma, and thank you, Cynthia, for that wonderful presentation on intentional communities. That was very impressive. I loved seeing all the places in the world where people are living so intentionally. And then to Jerry, I'm sorry about your mom, but I'm sure she's with us right now, and I've got my candle lit for her. Helen Anderson, how lovely to know her through you. And then Ayla, Shyla and Ayla, 2 beautiful singers. What a lovely tapestry is being woven tonight. So I'll just say a few things about this wonderful theme of building resiliency and heart. And it's very beautiful timing to talk about this now after Wednesday, the inauguration of the new administration and the end of 4 years where many people, and many people probably on this wonderful evening program, had to shut down their heart a little bit, become a little hard-hearted, become a little closed with the vitriol and ugliness that was abounding for those 4 years. Really, much of it from the media, even. Just so much divisiveness, so much indecent communications and things that didn't really make sense to any of us, and being misinformed and misinformed again. And I feel that we, on Wednesday, that inauguration, no matter what your political leaning, it was about opening up our heart. And it was very important, I think, to acknowledge that for many people, I'll just say I'm one of them, something happened to my body. I actually was able to exhale and stop resisting, but to open. And I would say resilience of the heart has been served now by this opening, this aperture, this new chapter. It's not a change. I think it's a transformation, which I distinguish from change. So I just want to honor that and the beautiful day that was put together by the people who wanted to honor our nation, and the opportunity to come together. And particularly, I'm sure everybody loved Amanda Gorman and her Pitch Perfect poem. And I think of her as a 22-year-old Black girl who stood in front of that microphone, if you saw her, with such presence and competence and confidence and calm. And I think of Greta Thunberg, who stood in front of the climate conference and the many climate conferences and the United Nations, and not that long ago on a Saturday night in front of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, with composure and competence and confidence. And it makes me realize that the young people that are in that generation, people a lot younger than me, and some of you, like that beautiful singer, Ayla, and are living into such a challenging future, but it's all you know. And so you were born to be resilient. Our youngest generations now that are coming into their own were born for resilience and heart. And you can feel it. Those two icons I use as a sort of a touchstone for the power of regeneration by new generations. I think we're in a multi-generational evolutionary leap. And the indigenous people of the Amazon, who I have the privilege of working with in the Pachamama Alliance, say that the pandemic, which comes from the mother, comes from the earth, everything does, has come to us to not as a punishment, but as an ally, as an announcement, making us go home to our heart, to our shelters, but also to our soul and heart, to realize what's essential, what's deep, what is there at the source of who we are. Because when we're in touch with source, that's when we can be regenerative, which is what wants to happen. I think we want to recreate, reimagine, reenchant, reset, reboot, if you will, recreate, renew, rejuvenate, revitalize, respect, which means to re-see who we are in relation to the climate, in relation to each other, in relation to governance, in relation to education, in relation to future generations, in relation to life. And having so many of us now on this planet going through something together all at once in one biology, the pandemic has taught us we are one biology. There's no escaping that. One biology, one biological system. Having us threatened with death, with 400,000, more than 400,000 people who've passed away in the United States, be so proximate to that which threatens the very life force itself, and having everybody engaged in some way with either an encounter with that or the constant reminder of that, gives us a chance to see how precious it is to be alive, and to resource what it means to be alive. And that is another way of talking about resiliency. Resiliency is a natural part, in my view, of the human condition, and it stems from love. It is our love for life. And when we're in touch with our love for life and our love for what it means to be alive, that's when we become more and more and more resilient. So to see those intentional communities really shifting this massive and almost over individuation that we've done in the modern culture, and realize how important it is to rely on each other, rely on the community of life, all species, rely on the power of the life force that comes through us. That power, that recognition, that very, very intense reminder could be what the pandemic is here to teach us. As Paul Hawken, and it really comes from Byron Katie, says that the climate crisis is not happening to us. We're not the victims of it. No, it's happening for us. It's very powerful feedback. And the pandemic didn't happen and isn't happening to us. One way of looking at it that gives you some power, it's happening for us. I'll say to everybody that I had COVID. I got the virus. It was a mild case. I didn't feel well, but I got through it. And now I have the antibodies. And I saw it as a kind of initiation, an initiation that gave me access to realizing how important it is to take care of my health and my well-being, how vital it is to know that being in community, being in relationship with others is what gives you life, rather than isolation, which the virus has kind of forced us to do. That isolation has made us appreciate the power of community, the power of coming into unity, which is what community means. So I feel like we're having a huge teaching, and that this time of rebuilding our own resiliency, reset, reimagine, recreate, get reborn, is kind of a birth canal. It's as if the pandemic is morning sickness and we're pregnant with a new way of being, that we're entering a pregnancy, all of us, men and women, of a pregnancy for a new way of being human, being born. I think there'll be a pregnancy. I think there'll actually be what I'll call a long labor that will be a co-labor, a collaboration. And with the suffering and so many people who've lost their lives, and how unfair this virus has been, and how many people are suffering way more than others, and how the virus doesn't care how you pray, or how old you are, or how young you are, or what your skin color is, or where you live. It's revealed, it has flushed up the massive, massive inequality. It has shown us what there is to transform. It has revealed, it has brought into full view that which needs to be absolutely and totally addressed. And for that, I'm grateful. Although it's frightening to see it and depressing to see it, at the same time, the revealing of it, the unconcealing of it, is a beautiful part of what's going on. Because you can't transform that which you're denying. You can't transform that which you keep under the radar, pretend doesn't exist. And it's so obvious now how unequal our world is. We all knew that, but now it's so obvious. So I'll just say that I really appreciate that this is Saturday Night Alive, that we're facing what it means to be alive, and resilience, possibility, and deepening and expanding the power of the heart as well as the mind is I think the job. As I think I said the last time I was on this wonderful gathering that you host, Deborah and Scott. It's time to hospice the death of the old structures and systems that no longer serve us, while we midwife the birth of those that can, those that will, and those that do. So as a hospice worker and a midwife, I thank you all for being part of this program. Thank you for using Saturday nights to give birth to a new kind of humanity. And thank you for including me in what is a beautiful evening.
Oh, thank you very much, Lynn. And I do want to spotlight for a moment a couple of things. To learn more about Lynn, you can go to the soulofmoney.com. I'm sorry, soulofmoney.org. There she is with Oprah Winfrey, and learn more about all that Lynn offers as a speaker. Her book really has transformed so many of us in terms of how we relate to money, especially in the spiritual community where there's a lot of perception that to have money, there's all sorts of stories about it. I'll just leave it at that. And I also really want to acknowledge the incredible work that Lynn does with the Pachamama Alliance. And I guess I'm a little bit, biased here because the Pachamama Alliance has been my favorite nonprofit organization since I discovered it many, many years ago. And I taught the Awakening the Dreamer course. It is so important what you have, along with, of course, your friends down south, and of course, John and Bill, what you've created with Pachamama Alliance, and your understanding of the wisdom that they have that we so desperately need, especially in this time, Lynn. So, thank you for being such an important community leader, and always your humility. You have a very beautiful humility as you present, including when you ask for money. I've never seen anybody who asks for money with more joy than Lynn. She does it very, very well at the annual fundraiser. So thank you, Lynn. And it's really, I'll just close by saying thank you for being on our show a few times. We just love you. And you mean so much to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to show a brief little video. And I want to just acknowledge Jay Mayer, who creates these videos for us and has helped to support us. And just a reminder that come join the tribe. Great. Well, it's time for some more music. And this is one of the things that I love about our show is that, whoops, I had the spotlight on Deborah. We've had a beautiful, beautiful musician who's with us right now. He's going to bless us with 2 songs. I just met him for the first time today, and I'm really delighted that we have Share Freedom with us. So welcome to Saturday Night Alive, and thank you for blessing us with your presence tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm super honored to be here with y'all. Super grateful to be here with y'all. This first song called History. It's off my called Stand Together Now. And as we talk about these times of transition and we talk about work that our ancestors have done, I just want to give thanks for mine, that I didn't have the privilege of knowing too much as I grew up in foster care, 28 placements between 7 and 17, and then like many music, and where I found people like Chloe and Leah of Rising Appalachia and, ancestors like Trevor Hall to show me how, healing our pain through music and sharing that with community and asking to be called in can, really change things for a person's life. So I just wanted to start out with that bit of gratitude and then this song of gratitude called History. I want to give thanks to my grandmother who stood in the soup lines during the Great Depression at 7 years old. A black woman in Texas. She watched our world change. She lived as black president. She told me that we all have history. So let's leave a good history when we go. Let's leave a good history when we go. Yeah, we all got history. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, we all got history. Yeah. Oh. And life's a mystery. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. To all of us, you know. Yeah, we all got history. Yeah. Oh. Some singing, use me in a good way. Giving thanks for every day. Giving thanks for every day. I see happiness and suffering everywhere I go, everywhere I go. And I don't know much, but I know this, yeah, I know this. You gotta find the joy in the pain, joy in the pain. Find the beauty in the rain. Find the beauty in the rain. Na na na. Find the beauty in the rain. Find the beauty in the rain. 'Cause we all got history. Yeah. Oh. And life's a mystery. Hey, yeah, hey, to all of us, you know. So I'm singing, use me in a good way. Give me a sin and again, yeah. Use me in a good way. Giving thanks for every day. 'Cause we all got history, yeah. All been wronged by somebody, but it's time to stand up, stand up. Stand together now, stand together now. Yeah, stop comparing your scars, stop comparing your scars, and just be who you are. Be who you are, yeah, yeah, yeah. Just be who you are. One more time. I want to give thanks to my grandmother who stood in the soup lines during the Great Depression at 7 years old, a black woman in Texas. She watched our world change, lived to see a black president, and told me, baby, we all have history. So let's leave a good history when we go. Leave a trail of smiles in your wake. Wherever you go. Be gentle like the falling of the snow, and let people know that you are light and you are love, and we are all gifts from above. Talking stardust medicine. So come now, share your light. Come now, share your love. Yeah, yeah. So that one's called History. I don't know if I share the second one now or in a moment. And that's
Um,
the shortened version just to try to stay on time.
oh, thank you. Shaya, when we did our sound check, everything was good, but your internet connection has gotten kind of wonky. And so you kind of been coming in and out. So if between now and the time you do your next song in a little while, if there's anything you can do to improve your internet connection, maybe closing other programs or getting closer to your router, because we sure want to fully experience you. Um, and I am going to go to his website. um, I am so touched, not only by the beauty of your words and your songs, Shreya, what you said about your grandmother and where you're coming from. And I am so grateful to have someone transgender, someone as sensitive as you sharing so beautifully. So there's a lot going on at his website. And he is truly an artist and a visionary and an advocate. I'm loving these photographs of him. Anyway, his website is sheafreedom.com. That's SHEA freedom, FREEDOM.com, sheafreedom.com. And he'll be back in a little while with another song and hopefully a little better internet connection.
Yeah, hopefully. Sorry about that, y'all. We all working with technology, doing the best.
Absolutely. Look, we're all coming from our homes. Who knows? Some of us might be wearing pajama bottoms, I mean, it's, I
I make the face because some of us might not even have pants on.
oh,
Thank
well,
goodness.
you just had to take it a step further, didn't you, bro?
I'm good for that.
I appreciate that a lot, very much so. Thank you. You know, I noticed some of what was happening in the chat room because of Lynn mentioning uh, her response, her personal response to what took place on Wednesday. And I do want to affirm that absolutely Saturday Night Alive is nonpartisan. We are here to welcome all beings, all beliefs, all faiths, all races, our cultures. How perfect that while that right after Lynn, we had this beautiful transgender being with us. So we honor everybody. And I think Lynn was just referencing her own personal experience. So I want to acknowledge that for some people, Wednesday was a day of great hope. I want to acknowledge that for some people, there's a lot of disappointment and a lot of anger. And in Love Coach Academy, we teach that all emotions are welcome. And underneath all of our emotions are our needs and our values. And just a reminder that at the bottom line, we all have the same values. I think all of us want to see honesty in our politicians. All of us want to be able to trust our government. I think all of us want that. We just have different ideas and beliefs about what's true, what's not true. And you know what? None of us really know for sure a lot of that stuff. But you know what we do know? You know what we do have control over? How we treat each other. That's what we have control over. I don't have control over what happens in DC, really. But I sure have control over how I talk to Deborah or our speakers or our presenters, the person at the grocery store or my roommates. And so that's the spirit of Saturday Night Alive, that we are here to love and honor each other and to treat each other with kindness and to do our best to listen and to understand. And if we hear something we don't like, instead of reacting to it, let's try and drop in and understand it. So thank you to everybody in the chat box for their thoughts, their comments. And I hope you don't mind my sharing, but I just really wanted to reaffirm our commitment to honoring all faiths, all religions, all cultures. All right. And with that, it's time for our Global Peace Tribe announcements. And we always start that off now with this little video. All right. Well, first of all, welcome again to all of our friends watching on all of our different broadcast partners. And a reminder that right now, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or somewhere else, come on into our Zoom room. There's still plenty of time. We've still got some really good show ahead of us, some great speakers, more music. So please come on in and join us. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, and join us. I also want to thank those of you who have been donating to Jerry's organization, the Mystic Monastery. Thank you so much for your donations. And thank you everybody who's registered and donated to Saturday Night Alive. I also want to put the spotlight briefly on our executive producer because he does so much to make Saturday Night Alive happen. He is the founder of Light Touch. He creates all these fun videos that you see. Jay Mayer, we love you. Thank you so much for your incredible support of our show. And of course, I want to thank our broadcast partners. And so, as I just mentioned, Jay creates these wonderful videos for us. And so now I'm going to take us on to a video that introduces our broadcast partners. Here we go. We want to thank all of our broadcast partners that are helping us to reach tens of thousands of people with every one of our shows. And that definitely starts with Unify. Right now, so many of you are watching us via Facebook on Unify. So thank you. We really want to thank John and Summer Raymer and the Sign Network, which helps get us out to hundreds of Facebook groups and pages. And of course, we want to thank Jay Mayer and Light Touch. Our primary sponsor, Jay is our executive producer. A lot of you are watching us on New Reality's YouTube channel. That's Alan Steinfeld, long-term buddy of mine. And of course, we originate on Love Coach Academy. That's my organization. And check out Love Coach Academy and all the different shows we provide free of charge all week long. Finally, we want to thank our other broadcast partners, starting with Humanity's team, and also appreciating Earth Dance Global, Portal to Ascension, the Disclosure Fest, Global Days of Unity, Earth Walk, and New Earth One. Thank you, everybody. Thank you again, Jay. And now to share a few more announcements, tell us a little bit about what's coming up on Saturday Night Live. Here is Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And yes, thank you so much, Jay, for your incredible support. And thanks all the people that donate when you register, as that really helps us produce a quality show. So thank you for your donations. And if you'd like to help Saturday Night Alive, we'd really love for you to share about the show. When you get the email, pass it on to people, or when you see it on social media, please pass it on, because this could reach thousands of more people and bring bright light into their lives and hearts. So please share it. And we're really excited about this winter season that we have. We've done a few shows now, and next week we have an incredible new show. One of our more important and popular shows is Indigenous Wisdom. And this again is sponsored by Jay Mayer, so thank you so much, Jay. The theme is going to be Indigenous Wisdom for Navigating This Challenging Times. And so this is the third edition of this popular topic in a series of Saturday Night Alive. This show is being co-hosted by Chief Philip Scott. And we will be following certain ceremonial traditions. And we're very fortunate to have Indigenous chiefs and elders and musical performers, some who are rarely seen, but have incredible messages, wisdom, and ceremony to share with us. We're going to have Chief Phil Lane, Chief Daryl Bobb, Women Stand Shining, Pat McCabe, Chief Reuben George, Chief Karima, Adam Yellowbird. We're also going to feature incredible musicians. We're going to have R. Carlos Nakai, famous native flute player that was famous years ago. He's coming on with us, going to share his music. And the very popular native singer, Joanne Shenandoah, and Sade Johnson. So don't miss next week. It's going to be very, very special. And Scott, do you want to share about February?
Yeah, absolutely. So we still have a lot of shows planned. By the way, we're already planning our spring season of the second quarter of the year. But for February, we've got 4 great shows. Mark Sims is coming back, and we've got Whitley Strieber, Linda Moulton Howe, and several other leaders, Elizabeth April, all talking about how to initiate contact and communication with our star family. On February 13th, it's Valentine's weekend, and so we're bringing in some of the greatest teachers of love, including Margot Anand, who literally wrote the book on Tantra, and several other amazing teachers of love. On February 20th, it's time for Teresa Collins, who comes back. She does one show every quarter with us, and she's got Greg Braden as the keynote speaker, and we'll be learning more about global coherence. And then on February 27th, again, this is a wonderful show. Once every quarter, Jay sponsors a show on health. And we're going to do something all about the latest tools and practices for optimizing our health. And now Deborah will tell us about what we've got planned for March.
And March, again, is going to be amazing. We always do a show of empowerment of women. It's one of our more popular shows. This time it's going to be feminine leadership changing our world, because that is what's happening now. And I've just been contacting some really incredible top feminine leaders. So that's going to be a powerhouse show. And then March 13th is going to be very special, understanding and communicating with our animal family, because I think a lot of us have gotten closer to our pets, and we really respect the animal family all over the world as part of what we need to honor and support. So we're going to be diving into that. March 20th, during the equinox and solstice, we always use those powerhouse portals to have amazing presenters, spiritual activations. So we will be doing Activating Together, the spring equinox portal. And March 27th, we're going to have another show on Indigenous wisdom. So we thank Jay so much for sponsoring that show. And he's also sponsoring the Animal Family Show. So thank you again, Jay, for your support. And I'm going to be posting the links in the chat room. And not only can you share it out, but you can actually gift a subscription to your loved ones. So I'm going to be putting a link in the chat room and on Facebook where you can actually sign up people and pay it forward and give them a subscription to Saturday Night Alive. So we encourage you to do that and spread the love.
All right. Thank you, Deborah. And Jay, putting the spotlight on you to introduce our next speaker.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Deborah, and everyone who has presented so far. I love the way that we're going. And it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Riddy DeCruz. She is the co-executive director of City Repair, which is a Portland nonprofit working on community development, permaculture, and urban design. We've been talking a lot about intentional communities and going back to the land, and something that could perhaps all be summed up in what we could call placemaking. And Riddy will be sharing about that, placemaking, the concept of placemaking, and placekeeping as a sacred responsibility to remember who we are and how do we do this in a good way. So Riddy, thanks so much for being here. Look forward to hearing what you have to share with us all.
Thank you so much, Jayma. I am gonna go ahead and share my screen. All right. I work with a nonprofit based in Wapato Valley, or what we call Portland, Oregon. And it's called City Repair, and we produce one of the largest urban permaculture festivals. And I'm really excited to talk to you about a concept called place justice or placemaking. And with that, I can't help but introduce and give gratitude to my parents for bringing me here, and all the other ancestors that have dreamed me into being. And then also in the middle is a picture of my little nibbling, my brother's daughter, and thinking about all the family that's to come, both blood and chosen. So I really want to give thanks to everyone who's contributed to me being here and me having a sense of place. I also want to give a lot of thanks to one of my mentors, Judy Bluehorse Skelton, an Indigenous um, place justice placekeeper, an herbalist, and someone who's taught me how to repair my relationship to land and to myself by cultivating a practice of deep listening. And then want to give thanks again to our bioregion, the Wapato Valley, the salmon, the beaver, all of our land beings that have been so beautifully and carefully tended to by the original inhabitants of this area, the Chinookan people, several tribes, and over 380 tribes that call this place home today. So practice of place for me is about repairing relationships. You know, I try to situate myself as the offspring of my parents, but also in this web of relations, connecting me from ancestors to descendants, and also wider into the land community, the more than human community, and I feel like place, some human geographers refer to place as a physical location that's imbued with meaning. And I would add the dimensions of power and identity to them. And so when we think about a practice of place or placekeeping, placemaking, place justice, for me, what's foundational is that repair to relationships that starts with ourselves in some ways. I think working through some of the historical, intergenerational, and contemporary traumas to find the blessings and the healing, to orient towards healing. And the same goes for our relationships with the human family, and then, of course, to the land beings as well. Another way to put it is just weaving ourselves back into the web of life, whether that's to orient our sense of time to the lunar calendar, or to notice when the cottonwood buds here in Wapato Valley are starting to bud and give their medicine, or an intuition to reach out to a friend that you haven't really thought about for several months, but something drives you to think about them, care about them, and reach out. We are so much more connected in this web of life than I think that we often manage to give time to or to honor. And so for me, the practice of place is to return and reweave ourselves back into that relationship. And it's from this place, I would say, that I stand so much taller, rooting into my resilience, because I mentioned earlier in the pre-show that there's a silent pandemic of mental health happening, people feeling a sense of isolation, people feeling the just vast detriments that several things, the converging crises that are happening in our lives. There's so many things that can cause more wounding. And I think that for me to tap into my sense of belonging, my birthright of being here, being alive in this time, and having a purpose, knowing what those instructions are, and not just feeling a birthright, but feeling a responsibility of mutuality to all of those around me. That's what's kept me feeling buoyant and feeling rooted and resilient. Now, go back to this logo just because I think it's really apt. It's an image of street intersections with a heart in the middle, and You'll see in the next slide why a little bit more, but what I want to present to you is that so much healing is there's so much healing potential at the intersections of our lives, at these edges, we call them in permaculture, the edge between you and me, the edge between the river and the beach. Those are really fertile grounds for healing, for growth to happen. And so with whatever I'm saying, whatever's being said, I would say is honor, take what resonates and then leave the rest. And I found intersectionality to be really important in my practice of place. And with that in mind, I want to quote Martin Luther King, Dr. King, with Black History Month coming up next month, and say that the presence of peace is not the absence of tension, but it's the presence of justice. And so when we talk about place justice, it's really about uplifting, buttressing, supporting the sense of belonging, the sense of place for those of our family, those of our those people that have been so oppressed, suppressed, repressed by the current imagination, the current paradigms. And so whether that's, Black lives, Indigenous land back, interspecies autonomy, self-determination, and honoring. There's so many ways in which that can look. And it could also mean some beautiful art on the pavement, but it's not so much what as it is how we do that. How are we weaving those relationships back? How are we putting the platform and the spotlight to those who have been so oppressed for their imagination to really birth this new life, this new world that we all yearn for. And earlier today, I got to be with my cutie BIPOC, my queer, trans, Black, Indigenous, immigrant, and people of color herbalist family. And we went out to sit with the cottonwood and really feel into our sense of belonging, reclaim our sense of self, and sense of mutuality, and a sense of what it means, coming from different lineages, but we're here right now. What does it mean to be Indigenous to place? And how can that be vibrant, beautiful, restful, and so much more? And then let's not forget what the youth have to bring. There's a program that we've run with the youth in the front, and their imagination, I tell you, is just gives me so much hope and teaches me how to be, I feel like I'm an elder in training. They keep me on my toes and hold me accountable. And so this piece by Nina Montenegro is titled Against Forgetting. And it's a tree, if you can't tell, it's a tree and a fingerprint, a human fingerprint. And I think that the blueprint for what we are meant to bring is within us. And so for placemaking, there's all this stuff that we can do in public space and out there in the world. But I really am wanting for us to think about what happens here in our inner worlds and how we remember how to be in relationship with each other in a good way. And so with that, I'll just share again. I work with City Repair and several other groups, and we really believe in repairing our relationship to place being so important to finding resiliency during these times. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Reedy. I want to just appreciate what incredibly important work you're doing. And I'm actually going back to your promotional postcard here for a moment. Listen to what it's all about: repairing relationships to ourselves, each other, and the land at the intersections of creative, environmental, and cultural justice. cityrepair.org. This is really important work that you're doing, Reedy, and I really hope that a lot of our viewers will take down your website and take a look at what you're doing. And I just am I'm appreciating you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And here is, I'm gonna do this real quick. Here we go. That's right. Thank you. Stay tuned because there's a lot more to come. Take it away, Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. So now I get to bring in some music, which always helps to continue to raise the vibration. And Shyla Ray Sunshine did a beautiful opening with us and teased us with what she has to share next. So we're so happy to have her back. Hello, Shyla Ray. And yeah, share with us your next level of your vocal beauty and love.
I'm gonna sing an older song. I'm gonna sing the song "Existence," which a lot of people know and love. And I saw your comment on Claire. I actually just did a performance with Claire today and her group of women, and wow, love her, love what she's created. So and they just love this song. So I wanted to bring it back and sing this one because it's also, it's the song that represents people really coming together to empower one another and really taking responsibility for our own lives, being the change that we want to see and be in our own lives. And it's incredibly difficult, but we are doing the work. So I'm just honored again to be here. And I hope you all remember this song. You've probably heard it somewhere, and I hope you sing along. There's a great chorus. And yeah, and I hope you enjoy. So, and let me know how the sound is. Stepping out of righteousness and recognizing oneness. No separation of you and I have led of this. We are playing one game. Everyone wins the same. I allow all things to exist today. I allow all things to exist in their own way. I exist in my own way, and I am a powerful creatress living in the matrix, the source of all wisdom in this bliss queendom. We will all manifest, we will all rise, raising our consciousness, opening our eyes. We can do anything as long as we try. Whoever said that the limit was the sky? I have a dream and I'm living it every day, learning not to let my fears get in the way. Oh, and I'm reaching to myself, and oh, a smile for what I'm feeling. Know that you are God and God is love. So when you pray to above, and when you pray below. When you pray, you can pray to yourself, because you know that you are so powerful, and you are the one you've been waiting for. You are so powerful. Wanna be aware of, but nothing to be scared of, cause we have a relationship with spirit, guided by the instinct, intuition. Don't think that you are living this life alone. Oh no, we were born into a world so fast. We got to slow down and not move too fast. So we have been given the gift of life. Blessed are these days and sacred are these nights. Oh, and I'm reaching in my soul. Oh, just to find all that I know. And we are part of a circle of family. And how long will it take for us to see? And how long will it take for us to be? And what more could we possibly think we need? Just pray. We are so powerful, and we are the ones I've been waiting for. We are so powerful, and we are the ones we've been waiting for. I am so powerful. I am the one I've been waiting for. I am so powerful. I am the one I've been waiting for, and I am so powerful, and I am the one I've been waiting for. Yay!
Wow. You are amazing. What I just love your soul and the depth of your connection to your song. It's just gorgeous.
I love it. I love singing. I love
Well, and so here's the deal. It's like, imagine, hey, look, check it out, people. You can learn how to sing or at least access your voice
Yeah.
the way that Shyla accesses her voice, just with so much connection to spirit flowing through. So you offer, tell us about your soul voice singing. Tell us about this.
Well, the first thing I should tell you is that I've never had a voice lesson in my life. I'm self-taught. I love to sing. I love music. I fell in love with it when I was young. And I'm just teaching people everything I know about singing and how I taught myself. And I basically, give basic tools for warm-ups and vocal exercises. And then we work on songs together. I help people develop their voice and their own original songwriting style. So that's something I love very much. And, I do one-on-ones, and I also do Zoom online workshops about once, twice a month. I'll do those. So, and it's, everybody is welcome. No experience necessary. Don't be scared.
Very inspiring, Shyla Ray. Very inspiring. So
happy.
listen, people, you can find out all about it by going to her website, Shyla Ray Sunshine. That's SHYLAH raysunshine.com. And then once you're there, just click on the coaching part and you can learn all about it. And what a wonderful discovery to know that you're out there in the world. And hopefully, I hope you'll come back and be on our show again.
I would love that. I would absolutely love it. I'm really looking forward to next week's. That looks very, very inspiring. And I think it's something that we all want to learn a little bit more about.
Yeah, thank you. And it's true. We've got some Indigenous elders that have not been doing Zoom. It's like we're very fortunate to have some people coming forward and sharing their wisdom. So, all right. Thank you. Well, good to meet you, Shyla Ray.
Lots of love to everybody. Have a beautiful night. Have fun and sing.
Absolutely. Hey, J-Ma, you've done a great job bringing in all these wonderful people. And I think you got somebody else to introduce now.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. I am really happy to introduce my old friend and good colleague, Marisha Arbuck, on the show to talk about some very practical things we can do and leave you very inspired to what you can do in your backyard. Marisha is an internationally recognized permaculture teacher, designer, and speaker based in Portland. She teaches an online permaculture design class through Oregon State University. And for as long as I've known her, I have just been so inspired at all the things and foods and medicines she can make from her backyard. As just one of the many things that you can do, Marisha. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Thank you, Jay, for inviting me. And big thanks to all the other speakers and singers and everyone who's been joining us for the show. I'm really glad to be here with you. All right, so I'm going to start by sharing a bit about myself. I live in Cascadia, as Jay said, often in Portland on the lands of the Clackamas, Cowlitz, Band of Chinook, and Molalla peoples. I also call the Olympia, Washington area home, which is home of the Nisqually people, as well as Oakville, Washington, which is home of the Chehalis people. My people are Ashkenazi Jews from Eastern Europe, or Yids. The picture on the right shows my father, who is the baby in the picture, with my grandparents and my aunt. The pictures were taken just after they had escaped the Holocaust. My dad was born in the displaced peoples camps. As their descendant, I spent my life learning about my ancestors who were murdered in the Holocaust and considering the political context that led up to the scapegoating of the Jewish people in Eastern Europe. When people fear for meeting the needs of themselves and their families, it is so easy to blame the other. I grew up wondering how we create our lives to meet our needs and how to avoid the uncertainty that can cause competition for resources, which often results in scapegoating. Many of us may recognize the relevance to what we have seen unfold in the past couple of years. It is important to recognize that scapegoating is divisive and harmful, and it comes from feelings of scarcity and lack of control. As we reckon with the global situation we all face now due to the coronavirus, I believe that we need to reflect on our global economic system, our reliance on resources from other places, the hidden costs, and the various factors influencing climate change. Climate scientists have predicted pandemics if we don't change our habits. I believe that Corona may be the first of many pandemics if we are not able to shift our habits to care for this planet and all people and species on the planet, recognizing our interconnection. The slide on the left shows it's from the United Nations, and it shows the various factors that have led to the emergence of the coronavirus. Corona is not the first zoonotic disease that has been affecting populations in recent times. Other zoonotic diseases include SARS, Ebola, Zika, and Lyme. All of these diseases are linked to the loss of ecological habitat for animals, resulting in the ability of disease to jump from animals to humans. We need ecological buffers. I believe that the climate scientists are accurate in their predictions. It is time that we recognize our interdependence on the natural systems of this planet and shift to an ethic of restoration in our culture. I have been fortunate to work with many indigenous cultures through my travels and inquiry as a permaculture teacher. This picture here shows a group of students that I worked with from the hill tribes in Vietnam. This is with the Farmer Field School Hepa and Speri. Indigenous cultures tend to have a high ecological ethic as they recognize that their well-being is deeply connected to the health of their environment. By deep knowing of their place, Indigenous cultures all over the world demonstrate how we can design our lives to meet our needs based in the understanding of our place. In the colonized world, we may call this permaculture design. Permaculture design is a modern term that asks us to come home, to inhabit our place, and to design our lives based in the context of our place. One thing that COVID has taught us is that we are all interconnected. My hope is that we can shift how we live our lives to reflect on this meaningful lesson of this time. I think that our current situation with the coronavirus begs of us to search for insight into the answer to this question. How can we meet our needs without depleting our resource base? I encourage each of you to look to the place-based strategies of Indigenous people to discover how you can plan to meet your needs, the needs of your household and of your community, while participating in a movement of regeneration and deep respect for the ecological functions provided by the diversity of species on Earth. This is a picture of my urban backyard in Portland, Oregon. On our city lot, which is just average size, we grow about 85% of our food. We grow many medicinal plants. We have plants for enhancing ecological functions, meaning that they have qualities to help stabilize and enhance the environment. There is always a flower in bloom for pollinators, and many species of birds are attracted and fed from our garden. As the plants grow, I propagate them on site and I sell them in my neighborhood scale plant nursery. While I'm not proposing that everyone needs to enhance diversity in their yards to the degree that I have, my goal of this presentation is to offer some ideas of how you can join in on caring for the earth by the way that you interact with your place. Wangari Maathai calls for an ecological imperative. She says we have a responsibility to protect the rights of generations of all species that cannot speak for themselves today. The global challenge of climate change requires that we ask no less of our leaders or of ourselves. Wangari Maathai is one of my heroes. She's the founder of the Greenbelt movement in Kenya, and she won the Nobel Peace Prize. She mobilized the women of Kenya to plant over 51 million trees to reforest their country. She taught women how to grow the trees from seed and created bioregional plant nurseries. The trees were selected for both ecological functions and for yields that would support the needs of the household. Trees can provide food, medicine, building materials, food for domestic animals, and fuel. This enhanced the resiliency of the women involved in the endeavor, as well as stabilizing the environment. Plants provide so many things that help to stabilize our environment. Plants help stabilize the climate by cooling the land. Their roots help to stabilize the soil, preventing erosion. Plant roots help rainwater infiltrate into the soil, preventing flooding and enhancing resilience in case of drought or fire. By dropping leaves and through root exudates, plants help to enhance the nutrients in the soil to share with the plant community. Plants also drop seed to reproduce themselves. By having the land covered with plants, weeds and rampancy can be discouraged. Plants provide food and shelter for wildlife. As you can see, there are many things that plants provide to enhance the resiliency of our environments. So there are many ways that we can participate in bringing in a new era of honoring our interdependence and love of the earth. Whether you want to make the area outside your office more beautiful and tasty by adding in some fruit trees that will also cool the sidewalk, providing comfort for pedestrians, or working with children to learn their lessons from hands-on experience in science, like the composting project in the top right in a school in Tucson, Arizona. You could start to supplement your food supply by growing a small garden, or if you don't have any land, join in community with others to steward a public space, like the Beacon Hill Food Forest in South Seattle, Washington. There are lots of opportunities to learn more about the diverse species of our planet and your place. I delight in the children of my neighborhood as they come and visit my chickens, which live out on near the sidewalk. And the children of the neighborhood emphasize that we as humans need nature, and nature needs us to conspire for a resilient future. So I invite you to come home to inhabit your space.
Oh, thank you so much. You know, I'm really touched as I'm meeting you and Reedy and all the people that are in this permaculture movement, because you really represent the future that we need to embrace. And it's giving me hope and inspiration. So thank you, Marisha.
Thank you.
And there she is. You can learn a lot more about what Marisha's doing by going to permaculturerising.com. Just think about the sun rising, permaculturerising.com. There's a lot going on at that website. Lots of classes on how to grow your own food and even create food forests, and just all the things that we need to start doing to create the kind of sustainability we want to have on our world. So, you know, thank you very much, Marisha, for what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me join your show.
Yeah, it's... And again, thank you, Jay Ma, for creating this show, and all the amazing people that you've brought on. Really, I'm touched, inspired, and kind of in tears, actually.
And now we're going to share Global Peace Tribe Recommends, and we use this part of the show to share resources and other shows that you can join. And I want to start by honoring and sharing a company that's been around for 40 years and has seen the importance of what we're sharing here tonight and provides alternative housing, alternative structures, in all kinds of ways. And I'm talking about Pacific Domes. I want to honor its founder, Asha Deliverance. She's not able to be with us here tonight, but one of her members of her team, Blair Lockett, is going to come on and join us and share about Pacific Domes. Hello, Blair. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Deborah. Thank you for having us. Thank you so much. Asha couldn't be with us today, as you had said, but just want to honor you and let your viewers know how important you have been in the evolution of our culture in creating health and harmony and spreading the ideology of yoga, permaculture, and much more through progressive workshops, which is spread worldwide throughout the festival culture. So thank you so much for that. So for 40 years, Pacific Domes has been designing award-winning shelters that are engineered to be energy efficient, easy to install, and very durable. We're a family-owned and operated company based out of Ashland, Oregon. Our portable domes are used worldwide for personal, corporate, and community purposes. Each dome type can be customized through feature placements, size, color, and cover type.
Great. And I know we had a lot of domes at Harmony Festival. Asha would bring them down and really grace us with that. Can you share more about the domes? What kind of domes you have?
Yes, we have dome homes, greenhouse domes, event domes, and playground domes. So within each category, we have different uses. For example, we have dwell domes, which can be used as a house in your backyard as more space, for offices, an office or a studio, a guest house. We have glamping domes, which provide a futuristic resort protected from the elements. Eco resort domes, base camp domes. The domes are really easy, packed into remote locations. Healing domes. Domes have a harmonic resonance that is backed by Vedic architecture known as Vatsu that create harmonic resonance through their shape and an energy of health and harmony, which is really cool. Yoga domes, emergency shelters for disaster relief. They can be used for warehouse purposes, distribution centers, kitchens, classrooms, medical centers in times of crisis. They provide safe, long-term, and weatherproof shelters for displaced families. Also, greenhouse domes. And in our event domes, we have 360 projections that can go on the ceiling, planetariums, art and music for festivals or permanent installations, weddings, VR gaming, movie set, film studios, and also sporting domes. We have used lots of domes for lots of our clients from the X Games. Also playground domes. Domes are an excellent hand-eye coordination and developmental skills.
Fabulous. And can we see some of these domes?
We just happen to have a video right here.
All right.
Wow, that's an education, all the amazing ways that domes are being used, especially in this incredible time. So thank you, Blair. Thank you, Pacific Domes.
Thank you.
And for our next Global Peace Tribe Recommends, here's Jay Ma, who's got something he wants to share.
Thank you, Scott, Deborah, and all of our presenters. This is my little opportunity to share about my recent project in this theme of going back to community and back to the land. I just wanted to share with people, that's what I've been doing for the last couple of years. I have moved to Eugene and started a farm and wanted to share with people about that. It is a small 5-acre artisan farm. We have ducks and chickens and veggies and starts and gardens. And we are also growing hemp and making amazing medicine from it. It's been such a joy and a lot of work as I find myself walking this path of really becoming a farmer. And I wanted to share it all with you on the show. You've probably heard about CBD. It's kind of been the thing right now happening across the country since the legalization of the hemp bill passed back in the end of 2018, making hemp a national agricultural commodity and decriminalizing it. And I just wanted to share with you something from my farm that we've grown. Our website is livingearthhemp.com. It's Living Earth Hemp at Living Waters Farm is the place we're operating out of. And for anyone that is interested, this is an opportunity for you. If you are looking for CBD products, we are growing them and making them here, and wanted to offer a special to anyone who is on the show presently or will watch it in the future to check us out. If you're looking for high quality CBD, it's a great thing to have right now for so many reasons, especially with the anxiety of the pandemic happening right now. And if you are looking for CBD, it's nice to get it from somebody that you know and that you know is a high quality stuff, as right now you're finding it everywhere in Walgreens and mainstream stores. So I wanted to share with you my project. It's called Living Earth Hemp, livingearthhemp.com. And for anyone on the show, you can enter the coupon code Saturday Night Alive in all caps to get 20% off of your order. So thank you for the opportunity to let me share about that with you all.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jay. Livinghemp.com.
It's livingearthhemp.com.
Thank you. Livingearthhemp.com. Livingearthhemp.com. And Deborah's putting that into the chat box and also into some of our primary Facebook pages. So we all met Jerry a little bit earlier in the show. And there he is with 10,000 acres of pristine forest behind him. Hey, Jerry, I've got the spotlight on you briefly. So we thought that because there's so much more to learn about Mystic Monastery, tomorrow morning, Jay is going to be my guest on my Sacred Sunday show. And as probably those of you that follow Saturday Night Alive know, on Sunday mornings, I do a show every Sunday morning, and on Friday nights, I do a show. And more, the speakers that I have on Friday night and that I have on Sunday morning are people that we've met on Saturday Night Alive that we want to give more time and attention to. And to be really honest, just about every speaker I've seen tonight, it's like, oh, wow, I want to do a full 2-hour show with each of them about the work they're doing. So anyway, please join Jerry and I tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. You can watch live on Facebook or come into the Zoom room. And
I'll give a little teaser. We're going to unravel some very interesting things from the emotional dimension that Yogananda left after he left Earth.
Wow. I didn't even know that. So this is going to be cool. So please join us. And you can watch live on Facebook. You know what? We would love for you to come into our Zoom room. Deborah is going to put the link into the chat box of the Zoom room. Come and join us live at 10 o'clock in the morning. And if you can't catch it live, and you can't catch it at 10 o'clock, if you go to my Facebook profile page, I'm the only Scott Katamas on the planet, everything I post is public, you'll be able to find the video replay, both of tonight's show there and of the show that I do tomorrow morning with Jerry. So I'm really looking forward to that. All right, thank you, Jerry. And thank you everybody for the donations that you're providing to Mystic Monastery. We really appreciate it. Well, it's time for some more music. And I want to introduce you all the way from Australia. We are blessed to have with us Chad Wilkins. He is the Mystic Minstrel. An American Australian singer-songwriter, he brings heart songs that reveal a better way for a generation in transitional times on our planet. From his lively progressive grooves to his deeply prayerful chants spanning many genres, Chad's rootsy folk anthems carry themes of love, gratitude, risk, honor, and pure, vibrant life, giving voice to our cry for spiritual transformation, harmony with the earth, and hope for a bright future. Chad, thank you so much for joining us all the way from Australia.
Hey, Scott. Thanks so much for having me.
Spotlight's on you. Take it away, partner.
All right. Here we go. So, you remind me, how did you word the theme of the whole show for tonight?
Sure, I'll read it to you, actually. The theme for tonight is a world in transition, building resilient communities and hearts.
That's it. Resilient communities and hearts. So, yeah, beautiful. When I read that, I was thinking about the resilient hearts part, and a big part, I think, of having a resilient heart is learning how to respond to the various levels of blessing and difficulty that come to us in our lives. So, over the last year, a lot of us have been hit with a lot of difficulty, and maybe some of us are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, or maybe of us have come out of that tunnel. But I'd like to sing a song called Song of the Dawn, and what this song is about, it's about being able to sing the song of the dawn even in the dark of the night, and also to really get all that there is to get out of difficulties in life too, whenever something difficult happens to us. Because there's a lot of lessons and blessings hidden in the challenges that come in life. And so there's a challenge in this song to feel it hard and feel it all the way. So you don't have to come back there again, but get it, get the lesson out of it. So anyway, this song is called Song of the Dawn. Can you hear me good? Is it all coming through clear?
Sound great.
Cool, all right. I will sing the song of the dawn in the dark of the night. Yes, I will sing when the morning takes too long. I will bring my own light. I will sing the song of the dawn in the dark I will sing when the morning takes too long. I will bring my own light. Let the storm at my feet be the wind beneath my wings, and the goodness perceived through the eyes of the meek is the beauty in everything. There's beauty in everything. There's beauty in everything. Yeah. I will sing the song of the dawn in the dark of the night. Yes, I will sing when the morning takes too long. I will bring my own light. I will sing the song of the dawn in the dark of I will sing when the morning takes too long. I will bring my own light.
if you have to feel the pain, feel it hard and feel it all the way, so you don't have to come back there again. There is a reason why it came. There is a season for the rain. So if you have to feel the pain, feel it hard and feel it all the way, so you don't have to come back there again. There is a reason why it came. There is a season for the rain. Yeah. And the lesson is the blessing within the pain. And there is a message in the test that's coming around again. And this is the way you will see the light. So learn to sing the song of the dawn in the dark of the night.
Wow. Thank you so much. That was just very, my heart's just is like so open hearing you. Thank you. Thank you. This is Chad's first time on our show. And wow, I certainly hope he'll come back. You can find out more about him by going to chadwilkinsmusic.com, ChadWilkinsmusic.com, music.com, chadwilkinsmusic.com. There's a lot going on there, a lot happening on that website. So definitely check it out. And boy, I know I want to hear more of your music. Thank you, Chad.
Thanks so much, Scott. Thanks a lot for having me on the show. Many blessings, everyone.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you very much. You know, I also want to, I did get a chance to go to the website for JMA, and JMA really has done so much for this show tonight. So this time I want to get it right. This is JMA's website, livingearthhemp.com. And so definitely go to the website. I am 21 or older. And so once you open it up, there's a lot going on. And that's where you can order his products. Yeah, thank you, Jay-Ma, for putting together this show. You know, it's just so important. You know, I'm reading a lot of comments from people talking about how inspired they are by the show. Well, let's show our gratitude to all of these people by supporting them. Let's support our musicians. Let's support Jay-Ma. Let's support the consultants and the people that are putting this show together. Let's support Jerry and the Mystic Monastery. You know, we are the Global Peace Tribe, and as much as we can keep the money within our Global Peace Tribe, that's one of my favorite political statements, is keeping the money within our community. So let's all remember to do that. And most of all, let's be grateful. It's so important for us to live our lives in gratitude. Thank you, Jay Mayer, for that video. And now to introduce our next guest, here's Jay Ma.
Thank you, Scott. It's my pleasure to introduce our next guest, Miguel Elliott, who I believe is also with some friends. I'm also known as Sir Kabbalat. Miguel is a leader in the natural building movement, which is basically technologies of you can be building structures, your house, from the very earth beneath your feet. Miguel has been doing amazing work all over the country and the world. Also known as Sir Kabbalat, as his specialty is building with cob, which I'm sure he will share with you about. His website is Living Earth Structures, and his new project, which he's going to share about, is very exciting. EFAM, Essential Food and Medicine and Artisan Building Communities. So Miguel, we're really happy to have you and look forward to hearing what you have to share with us this evening.
I'm really looking forward to too, and in classic style of how things sometimes change, Miguel is not here. He is not with us. He texted me a while ago saying he was all set, but I'm not seeing him here. So Jonathan, if you can hear me, we are going to go to you in just a moment. I'll give you a second to get ready, and we're going to show a commercial for Light Touch, and then we'll go to Jonathan. Here are some examples of Trish using Light Touch throughout her day.
Thank you for transforming my relationships. Thank you for the most divine relationship. Thank you for spiritual wellness. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So let's all remember to practice Light Touch. So we'll go to Jonathan in just a moment. But, you know, I want to take a moment just to talk about Light Touch. For any of you that are kind of new to us, Light Touch is one of our ongoing sponsors. And it's a wonderful practice that almost all of us that are very involved in Saturday Night Live have been doing, inspired by Jay Mayer. Twice a day, we get together and we do prayer together, we do Light Touch together. So it's a wonderful, wonderful practice and something that we really appreciate. So thank you, Jay. Thank you, Light Touch. And I think what we're going to do is I'm going to go to Shay, and then we'll go to Jonathan, because Jonathan needs to prep a little bit. So I don't know what happened to Miguel. Miguel, if you end up joining us, we'll put you on towards the end of the show. But I am now really happy to come back to this beautiful being. Shay is a remarkable transgender musician who really blessed us previously with one of his songs. And I think he's got a little more for us. And I think his internet is better too. So we get to have the complete Shay experience. Take it away, partner.
All right, so this next one's called Water is Life. And it's not out just yet. Soft released it. Went down to France to rewire some neural pathways, work on some healing, and play some music. So went down to this Paleolithic cave called Lascaux 2 and saw how our ancestors painted this creation story, and wanted to give thanks to the fact that water is life a couple years later after Standing Rock. And this is Water is Life. If y'all want to dance along, I welcome you to move your bodies. I'll see you down there, Bishop. Hey, Lord, may you run. And a little secret, though, before I really get into the song. Many of y'all may know Xavier Rudd's song, Follow the Sun. So I did this as a kind of a answer to that song. Can you hear me all right?
We can. You sound good.
Perfect. Follow the sun, follow the sun, and listen to the moon as she pulls at the tides in you. And it's true, yeah, it's true. Mini wachoni, Water is life. Hey. Minwachoni, Minwachoni. Water is life. You long may you run, hey, long may you run, and long may you play, long may you play, and long may you see rivers running free, run free, run free. And long may you run, long may you run. And long may you play, long may you play. And long may you breathe in the air from the trees, breathing deep. Come on, breathing deep with me, y'all. Breathing deep, breathing deep, breathing deep. Yeah, Bishop. Hello. May you stand on sacred ground where wisdom's found, where wisdom's found, where wisdom's found. And follow the sun, follow the sun, and listen to the moon as she pulls at the tides in you. And it's true. L'eau c'est la vie, l'eau c'est la vie. Water is life. Agua es vida, agua es vida. Water is life. Really feeling you right now, Jerry. Feeling you, Jay. Both you, Jays. Wanka tonka, tonka shela. Wanka tonka, tonka shela. Chanupa, wanka cha. Maya kuelu, Maya kuelu. Pilamaya hela he, pilamaya hela he ya. Ah hey yo, hey ya, ah hey yo, hey ya. Hey ya, hey ya, hey. Grooving with you, Grace. Hey ya, hey. Hey ya, hey. Wanka tonka, tonka shera. Wanka tonka, tonka shera. Mitros aniwaya, maya kuero. Mitros aniwaya, maya kuero. Pilamaya, hela he, pilamaya, hela he ya. Ah hey yo, hey ya, ah hey yo, hey ya. Hey ya, hey ya, hey. Hey ya, hey. Feeling you, Mary. Hey ya, hey. L'eau c'est la vie, l'eau c'est la vie. Sing it with me. Water is life. Agua es vida, agua es vida. Water is life. Minmuchoni, Minmuchoni, water is life. So follow the sun, follow the sun, and listen to the moon as she pulls at the tides in you. Thank y'all for having me. So honored. That song ain't out yet, but I did just let out a new song called America, which was a contemplation that happened while I was overseas. I didn't really understand the brevity of my trauma as a young Black trans man with a father that was born pre-segregation. I didn't really understand my trauma, as a biracial ancestor in training, with Caucasian ancestors who have had slaves in Kentucky, until I went to places where I wasn't identified as like a Black man or whatever. I was just Shay. I was just this. I was identified as American, that American kid, with the guitar. But then I came back here, and I wasn't able to relax in ways that I did overseas, and that really hit me. So I just wanted to touch on that to invite y'all and share with y'all that song America is out on Bandcamp, and it's really just a contemplation and a notice and a call for justice and peace and more of this, more of community, and more of honoring treaties that we write within ourselves and that we write with land, like down in Puerto Rico, like we write with land up in Eugene, Oregon, and that we write with our communities. So I just wanted to share that that's out there, and this song will be out there hopefully in 2021, but I gotta honor some treaties within myself first. So thank y'all for having me here.
Well, thank you, Shay. And I've actually clicked on, so we're now seeing kind of your amazing website. And one of the things I didn't get a chance to mention, I didn't talk a little bit about his background, but Shay was awarded the 2016 Rising Star Award by Black Trans Men Inc. And he has shared the stage with so many renowned LGBTQ artists. He was even featured on the Showtime hit series, The L Word. So he's really been out there in wonderful, wonderful ways. And, thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for the being that you are. And again,
And
I'm
real
going
quick,
to
if I may say, I just want to say thanks to having me here. And Jerry Loki, I'm feeling you. I want to connect with you. I want to see how, I don't know when I'll be in Puerto Rico, but how I could get my hands on your land and, you know what I'm saying, do some no-till farming and some water mitigation. I'm good with a shovel, man. I got that in my ancestral DNA, bro.
You got to unmute yourself, Jerry. You're muted. Jerry?
You're welcome. Anytime you can come, we'll find a place for you.
And this is, here it is, the power of this amazing show. We've got people all over the world meeting each other, connecting, different ages, different genders, different, generations, all coming together. And I think that that's one of the things I really, really love about this show. Very, very cool. All right, Miguel and his band of friends are with us. So Jema, you get to do introduction of Miguel, take 2.
Okay, Miguel, glad you could make it. Thank you for being here. And thank you for all of the amazing work you have done being a pioneer natural builder of building with the earth, teaching people how to build with the earth beneath their feet. Your company, Living Earth Structures, and I know you've done just so much beautiful, amazing work, from countless ovens to buildings to all the creative projects that you've done. And I think it's really appropriate if we're here talking about building communities and actually physically building the buildings that we live in a really amazing way. So thank you for being here with us, and we'd love to hear what you've been up to in your latest project.
You got to unmute Miguel.
Okay, so hi, glad we finally got on. Sorry about that little glitch there. So yeah, I'm Miguel Elliott, also known as Sir Kabbalat, and this is my friend.
Hi everyone, I'm Xochitl Bernadette Moreno. I'm the co-founder of EFAM, or Essential Food and Medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm Dimitri, and I'm just here to help, guys.
Yeah.
We have the other co-founder of EFAM. This is Ashel Eldridge.
Hey, what's up? What's up? Great show.
Okay.
And we have Sequoia Hansen. She is a resident, and Dimitri are also residents of Wood Street, of the community that we serve, that you'll get a chance to learn a bit more about in our GoFundMe video. Do we have the ability to do a screen share?
Yes, you do. Go for it.
Okay. Let's see here.
It's that green button.
Okay.
So we're going to talk to you all a little bit about what we've been up to with the Cob on Wood project. We're supporting an amazing community that is really a picture of resilience. And you get a little bit of a chance to see what we've been up to.
We're still seeing all of you. We're not seeing your share screen.
Oh.
You guys can do.
Okay. You're still seeing how of us.
Let's go back to the.
So take two.
Take two. You got to click share screen and then click whatever
That's nice.
is on your desktop that you want us to see.
All right.
Okay.
And our video is.
It is.
So just to tell you a little bit about it, what we're doing is creating community support structures.
This is the. Why not?
And these
no?
community support structures are there to support the basic needs of the unhoused community that are at Wood Street. So we're creating a kitchen, a clinic, and a free store. So the kitchen is able to give residents a place to cook for themselves, a place to, instead of just receiving a meal that they get from a mutual aid network, but to be able to, here, we're gonna do a little switcheroo. Hopefully we'll get our video on soon. But this is Dimitri. We wanna introduce you to Dimitri. He's actually one of the people that inspired the Cob on Wood project. He's a resident at Wood Street, and he came to us and to Artist Building Communities and said, hey, what would it look like to actually provide a little bit more deeply for the basic needs of people? Do you want to talk about your vision of community, Dimitri?
Yeah, sure. So basically, these people end up in this place, and a lot of times the reason they're there because they're lacking community building skills, and that's why life is hard for them. A lot of times, okay? There are a lot of reasons, but these people need help to maintain communities to make their life easier to provide for themselves. And what we envision is we're building a culture. We're changing culture, culture of these people, our own culture. And we see the new culture, that's going to spread because this is a common dream of community, of living together in peace. And we're going to we want our businesses to join us. We're going to provide shelter, of course. We're going to provide our own economy. Based on our own needs, we're going to be helping each other. We're going to be bringing our people, helping us, helping themselves, apprenticeships programs. And the vision is just to rise up like this.
To rise up. And I think we have our video ready. We're gonna give it a try.
You know what I would suggest? While he was talking, I went ahead and I found your video. And if I play it, it's more likely to play well.
Thank you, Scott.
All right, so let's do that.
Okay. All right, Scott, that sounds great.
All right, hang on, let me just share screen. All right, so I'm going to share my screen.
And we'll stop our share.
We'll start yours.
You can see our whole merry band. And if you feel inspired and you decide that you want to come out to Oakland, California and get in on the action with us, we've got all kinds of ways to plug you in.
Fantastic. All right, well, here we go.
All right.
Hey, my name is Ashel Seasons Eldridge with EFAM, Essential Food and Medicine, and we're out here at Wood Street in West Oakland building a community kitchen from the ground up with Sir Kabbalah, Miguel, ABC Artist Building Community, a lot of different volunteers and community members who live right here at Wood Street.
We've decided to come together to build a kitchen and a clinic.
This is one of the reasons why we need a kitchen, because this is our kitchen right here. This is very toxic, this is very dangerous. We don't have much, but this is what we got. And not having much, this is what we're going to use.
It's important that we have a kitchen. That would stop a lot of the fires that are happening. Some people can't cook, or they're elderly, and they leave things on the stove and it's over.
These structures that we're building are 100% fireproof.
Hob is a mixture of sand, clay, and straw. It's all locally sourced, it's fire resilient, and it's beautiful. You can see how, kind of nice it is and how durable it is.
We're taking fabric and plastic that has been dumped here, putting it into the walls and the flooring of the building to insulate it. We're pairing sustainable practices with empowering unhoused folks who live here. We're offering them stipends to help out. We're building a community kitchen, but we're also building a clinic that can be a hub for people who have ailments to come in and receive holistic healing.
Through our What's Your Medicine event, we were able to bring out over 30 different types of healing practitioners to Wood Street to offer their services. Through the development of the community clinic, we hope to have a place where our network of herbalists, of nurses, community wellness practitioners can develop their relationships with the residents.
The only salvation, the only way out of this mess we're in is start building our own communities. We've done it once, we can go see it somewhere else.
The idea that we can actually build something that the city and other organizations have said they wanted to provide, but have yet found affordable, cheap ways to do that. We want to provide the example.
We're building a seed of a culture, that's what we do.
We plant seeds of justice today for the future generations.
We need your help. We need building materials. We need your skillful hands.
Donations, anything that you can spare.
Wood Street is like a home to me. It's another community that basically look out for each other, because I ain't got nowhere else to go sometimes.
Wow, thank you, you guys.
Minus in session 5, we will hoist the shaft and bring these people to service.
Okay.
Also,
you guys
today,
mute. You got to stop
we are
off
able
whatever it is
to
you got
dig up
going
all
on.
the drilling holes. That is to say, all the life-saving channels will be able to open.
No?
And right now, the rescue work is still underway.
Oh, I see.
So let's continue to follow up
I
on
have
the
no
latest
idea how that happened, but there we go. So thank you, you guys. That's really inspiring, what you're doing. And I love how you're combining. First of all, I love how multicultural you are. I love that I'm seeing a lot of different ages, a lot of different colors, a lot of different genders. So thank you. And I'm really appreciating what you're creating. So thank you. And, we've supported EFAM before. EFAM was one of our fundraising nonprofit organizations. And I love as I'm talking, you saying, no. So I'm going to put the spotlight on myself and mute you guys. But thank you. Thank you for the wonderful, wonderful work that you're doing. We will put into the chat box how people can support you. Thank you. And now we've been talking about it for a little while. I'm going to turn over to Jay Ma, who's going to introduce our final speaker for the night.
Thank you, Miguel. Thank you, Scott. And it's actually looking like there's another bit of a little kind of last minute shift with our speaker. I'm been getting this transmission from, maybe it's kind of the Star Nation, some interdimensional thing, which I know it might be somebody might be a distant relative of Deepak Chopra. We know has been on this show, but I think it's coming from that there's in response to this global crisis, to this articulation we've had, this theme of community, the crisis that we're in, that there's a being coming through, Deep Hugs Chakra, who I'm getting, will be coming through at the request of if we all could do a collective yum together, like an om, but like a yum. So if you will just roll with me on this one here.
Okay. Come on, everybody. Let's all do this. Everybody at home.
We'll do it on 3. Ready? We'll do a collective yum on 3. 1, 2, 3. Yum.
Yum.
Wow! Well, hello there! Well, hello! I know you've summoned me. Yes, you have. I heard the call. Yes, it's only in crisis that I am called to the surface of Earth. That is correct. My name is Deep Hug Chakra. That is true. And I have been busy. Yes, the world is in crisis, as we know, and I've been summoned many times to the surface recently. It was years and years that I didn't come to the surface. Yeah, I was having fun down below, and that's fine. But recently, whoa, I'm here a lot. But that's okay, because I've got something very special for you today. Now, I would like to share with you something in my native tongue. You guys know my native tongue? It's right there. No, for real. I'm going to share with you a special poem, an incantation. That's correct. A very special, old, wise proverb in my native tongue. Now, you may not understand it right away, but if you feel what I'm saying, you can understand what I mean. And if you don't, I will translate. So, it goes something like this. Oye, amano, ¿a dónde ya va? Oye, napando, ¿a dónde ya? Ole, chapo, ¿a dónde ya la? Oye, namo, ya pa dónde yo? Oyak, randa kapande, yoyak, rakapapadande, yoyak, rampapadonde, yo, joje ya, donde bakataka donde. Yes, generations that has been taught to me. It is true, and I will very much translate this for you. Goes something like this. If you choose east, the air, it will flow. Or maybe it's the south with the fire from below. Perhaps it's the west with the water as your test. Or maybe it's the north with the earth that'll suit you best. Whichever direction you may choose to go doesn't ultimately matter, as you know, as long as you always follow your heart. You'll know inside that you're playing a part of a transformation all across the nation, a cultivation of imagination, the manifestation of a strong vibration with the unification of all our relations. Yes, yes, our relations. All of our relations. I'm talking about the 2-legged, the 4-legged, the 6 and the 8. From all the small to the very great. I mean all of the living things on this planet. We must honor them all. Yes, that's right. From big to small. Yes, I'm talking about our relations. And the most important relation of them all is our relation with ourself. That's correct. We need to be treating our bodies like a temple that it is, by what we put into it and how we treat it. So I'd like to share a song to remind ourselves of the practice that is important of how we treat our bodies every day, if you can. It goes like this. I wake up each morning and I look to the sun. I do a special pose called salutation. This is yoga. Y-O-G-A, yoga. Yo, 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 yoga. Block straps and chairs in Iyengar. They're really helpful when you can't reach this far. This is yoga. Y-O-G-A, yoga. Yo, 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 yoga. I reach up to the divine spirit, God, Allah, Jah Rastafari, and I open my heart. I bend to my toes and let out a fart. This is yoga. Y-O-G-A, yoga. Yo, 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 yoga. There's a little green man who teaches a course. He does know to stretch, but he uses the force. His name is Yoda. Y-O-D-A, Yoda. Yo, 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 Yoda. Yes, yes, a little fun, little rhyme, a little song every time to help us do the right thing to our temple, see? Yes, because in all good relations, we must be in good relations with ourselves. And so that is my reminder to you, not only to eat healthy and to treat our bodies with a little stretch. Yes, that's right. Now, I know that there's something important also, the relation that we have to ourselves, but to our larger planet. So if I could share a pledge, perhaps you would like to make the pledge with me. Now, it's only if you feel the words, but if you do, you can repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the earth. I pledge allegiance to the earth for all the life that she sustains. For all the life that she sustains. One planet in our care. One planet in our care. Irreplaceable. With sustenance and respect for all. Sustenance and respect for all. Yes, very good. Now that is a pledge I think all citizens of this planet could make. One without borders. One that honors that we are beings from this planet. Now, as my final share, I'd like to consider this. Now, I know we just went through a tumultuous election here in the United States of America, but I would like to offer up a little something. In 4 years, I would like to be the last president that ever happens in this United States, because if I'm elected, I would replace the presidency with a council of grandmothers, because we need to honor and return the matriarchy so that we can balance the hundreds, if not thousands of years of patriarchy. So I would be running on a platform that is representative of all colors, genders, and race. And this is my departing share. I'm running for office on a simple platform. This corrupt administration has got to transform. We don't need the Homeland Secret Police. We need to join our global neighbors working for peace. The first thing to consider in our country's rebirth is to make all our decisions with a reverence for Earth. Yes to clean water, clean air, and good food, because tampering with things like GMOs is quite rude. Thank you very much. I'd like to share a very special thanks to all of you over there at the Saturday Night Alive. We'll see you next time, and I'll go out and rise to my higher self.
You never know what you're going to see on Saturday Night Alive. It just never know, do you? Well, rumor has it that our little friend that we just saw does have a connection to someone. And so we want to honor that connection. And let me pull it back up. I had it here. Yes, it is connected. He's connected to Puppetplex. And so here's the website for Puppetplex. See, it's taking me a moment to get it now. All that technical stuff. Puppetplex and Jonathan Yout. And we want to thank Jonathan and Puppetplex for that. Very unique. We've never quite had anything like that on Saturday Night Live before. But for more information about Jonathan, Puppetplex, and maybe you can even meet the little green man again, just go to exactly that, puppetplex.com. Puppetplex.com. Well, it's the end of our show. Candles are still burning, and really grateful. Thank you, Jay Ma, for your beautiful contributions. I want to really acknowledge also Lindsay Morris, who co-created this show with Jay. I'm going to bring, there's our beloved Jerry back with us, and our executive producer, Jay Mayer, and our multicultural friends that are doing the amazing work of building kitchens and clinics. And just thank you, everybody. Jonathan, we might even get an appearance by Jonathan. There he is. Hey, Jonathan, thank you so much. And most of all, thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for your donations to Mystic Monastery. Please join Jerry and I tomorrow morning on the Sacred Sunday show. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week, next Saturday night, for our Indigenous